Hello, Henshin heroes, and welcome to the latest live stream from Henshin Power V3, a podcast where three friends have 3 minutes to talk about tokusatsu, but we're not doing that tonight. I am Nathan Marchand, aka the Subro, and with me today are my lovely co-hosts.
What's up, guys? I'm Jake, aka the Metal Don.
I'm Chris, the Sentai guy.
Yeah, and we're finally doing this kind of properly. The first one of these that we did was a pre-recorded video, and then the last week it was a weird makeshift setup.
Yeah.
From
Went
our
off the rails in a hurry.
room. So that it was. Yeah, it was very ramshackle. I was surprised we actually had some viewers because I'm like, I didn't schedule this or anything. I'm just like, it's just going out there. And then people like Mr. Gonzalez here, who's already in the chat. Once again, Ultraman has reminded me of Pokemon Heart Gold or Bakugan. Yeah, so we'll be getting into that tonight. So yeah, so our Jake's crazy experiment continues this week. It was his crazy idea to do this. I just want to say up front, I think I've said this before, I would love to do quote unquote proper HPV3 episodes on Omega at some point down the road, even though we're doing this weekly coverage, because I've been having a good time with this, and we're going to be talking about episode 3 tonight, and then we'll be talking more fully, I should say, about G-Fest 30. But yeah, so I've been rambling quite a bit. What do you guys have to say before we start getting into this?
I ain't got anything. I'm ready.
Omega is awesome.
Omega is awesome. Okay, yeah. So we'll be getting into that, and like I said, our G-Fest discussion, we'll be going over the stuff that we did that weekend. We'll be showing off I won't be showing off my entire G-Fest haul because I'm going to be doing a full video on that for MIFE Max on Patreon for the Monster Island Film Vault. You guys want to show off all your stuff, go for it. I'm not going to stop you, because unless you're going to be joining me for like the mega stream that I'm planning on doing tomorrow with some other some of my other content creator friends, unless you're going to join us for that, I think this was going to be your avenue for that. So we got one more comment here from Edwin before we get into tonight's topic. This has been a good month of reveal and announcements. Really great surprises and reveals, especially today. To quote Ryan Parrott, "Hail to the Rogue King, baby." Yeah, we've had a lot of crazy stuff. We had if you're just looking at the kaiju sphere, we had some announcements from SRS. We had the Yongari 4K get announced, and my copy of it is coming in the mail. And then we had a ton of new Ultraman stuff that was revealed new Ultraman releases that were announced last week during G-Fest, which we talked about last week. So
Yep.
But anyway,
and Toku Collectibles came out. They revealed that they're about to do pre-orders for a brand new Dragon Zord.
Yes, let me see if I can go find a picture of that, but we'll save that for after the stream. So we need to talk about Ultraman Omega episode 3. I'm trying to remember what this episode was called. Does anyone remember the episode title? You guys still here?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why is everyone quiet? You're freaking me out.
We're quiet to freak you
Beware
out.
of the cold. It's Beware of the Cold Wave. That's what it is.
Beware of the Cold Wave. Okay.
Yeah. Beware of the Cold
Not the
Wave.
most memorable title, but it was a good episode.
No, it's another solid episode. I still think the first episode was the best one. But like I said last week, you want to lead with a really good first episode to get people hooked.
It's true.
So yeah, the main thing that happened this week is we get some more development with our 3 main characters. So they're settling into the dynamic that I think we can expect for the rest of the episode. I am shocked that that girl has not figured anything out yet. I'd like to think she has. She just hasn't said anything, because how could you not?
I think
Yeah.
I think it's leaning more towards like she's kind of figured it out. She knows something's going on and they're connected somehow, but she's respecting the fact that they don't want to tell her, because she can
Even
tell they're good guys.
Well, he
Yeah,
literally had the Omega
Ayumu.
Slugger come out.
Yeah, she did, and it's like, and there's no way she's buying it's Ayumu, I should say, or Ayu, Arado, and Kosei. There is no way she's buying Kosei's excuse that that it's just a magic trick. It's like, no. This is like TV logic excuse. Okay, this would not fly with anybody who's not on TV. I'm sorry. So I have a sneaky suspicion she knows. Serato is just the only reason he's even trying to keep a secret identity is because Kosei keeps telling him to. Otherwise, he's terrible at this.
Yeah, he was going to tell her. I wish he would have.
Absolutely, he doesn't.
I kind of wish they had to, but what was that, Chris?
I was like, he absolutely does not care.
He does not, and I'm not sure how, because I don't think they can keep this up for the entire season. Okay, we got 22 episodes to go. I don't think they can keep this up because
they won't.
Because she's too smart, and it's going to strain credibility after a while with this.
Either that, or they will make it known that she knows, but she's not saying anything to protect her friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. I think I would rather it be something like that, or she just tells him, yeah, I've known. Or, yeah, I figured it out, or something like that, as opposed to, I mean, the obvious thing would be that Serato tells her. Kosei won't. It'd be interesting if they backed Kosei into a corner and he admitted it, but because now Kosei, as of this episode, Kosei has a secret he has to keep now too.
Yeah.
Right.
But I kind of think
that's the other big thing that happened.
I think, but with her, it would be kind of interesting to me if it's almost like from the Superman movie, the Perry White, Jimmy Olsen thing, where they're just kind of watching Superman and Lois go off, and they're like, "So how long have they been a thing?" Oh, about 3 months. They know.
They know. That would be amusing.
They're not saying anything, which I love. That.
Yeah, actually, that could be kind of funny. Like Serato just runs off. He's like, "I'm hungry," and he goes off to go eat, and then Ayumu just looks at Kosei and says, "So he's Ultraman." And
yeah,
and he's like, "What? Well, no, he's not. He's Ultraman. Don't even try."
Well, they're not calling him Ultraman this time. He's Omega.
But typically, even if the Ultra, even though all the other Ultras have their own names, a lot of times they typically just call them Ultraman for whatever reason.
Yeah,
but
I don't think he even remembers he's an Ultraman.
Yeah, of course.
Yet he knows how to transform and fight monsters.
Yeah,
but with this being a separate universe, I don't know how well that plays out. Like, he's Omega, maybe he's the last Ultraman in his universe. He maybe not know what an Ultraman is anymore. He just knows he's Omega.
I am still curious about the choice of name. A lot of times people think that the names that are given to Ultras, that they're kind of done willy-nilly. They just think, oh, it sounds cool, we'll go with it. No, there's purpose behind the names that Supro gives to these Ultras, even if it is something that's just relatively simple, like Tiga. Tiga's not even a Japanese word. It's what is it? I'm trying to remember. I can't remember if I think it's Melee. I want to say it's Melee. It's the Melee word for 3 because he has 3 modes.
Yeah.
So that one's a relatively simple one, but then you have
You have Blazar, who he was literally
Blazar.
his weapon was a Blazar. That spear that he had was literally a Blazar. Because I remember looking it up. What's a
Mhm.
Blazar?
Mhm.
And that was his weapon.
Mhm. Yeah, or or sometimes they actually call it out like in Ultraman Dyna. They say, well, what do we call this guy? How about we call him Ultraman Dyna for dynamic? So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
actually call it out. So there's a purpose to these names. So I am curious, why Omega? Because the word Omega carries weight.
Mm-hmm.
So I
It
hope
does.
that they're not just doing it because it's a cool thing.
It doesn't seem to be Supro's MO, so I doubt it.
Yeah, or like Arc last year. It's because they were doing this theme with with arcs, with like archways and things like that. They gave it significance. That's so. Like I said, I'm really curious to see what they're doing with that. But what do you guys think of our? So we've got the blossoming character dynamics going on there, and I'm loving it. I am absolutely loving it. This whole kind of everyman dynamic with the scientist girl and no science patrol. I am reveling in this. But what do you guys think of our monster of the week?
He
Ugly.
was very he was very Showa inspired.
He
I could
did look
tell.
very
Yeah.
Showa.
He was like I was watching it with my daughter and my 17-year-old daughter
Yeah.
and my
Pagunos.
youngest
That's
son.
who it is. Yeah.
And they were trying to figure out, arguing if it was a turtle, if it was a penguin, what was it?
It's a
Not that it's a
penguin.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like a condor penguin looking thing.
It's
It's
a
ugly.
penguin.
Well, I said it's fugly is
I
what it is.
I liked it. I loved the way it looked at Kosei and the rest of the crew.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a
It was like
picture of
watching
it.
them.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a picture of it, and I can't for the life of me. Doing a Google search does not get me a picture of this thing. So I'm not even gonna bother.
But
And
I
there
thought it
isn't
was
even
very,
there isn't even an entry on the Ultra Wiki yet for him.
I thought his power set was interesting because he didn't just freeze stuff, that he could actually affect the weight of things with the cold.
I want to know. Like she says, like that was a scientific theory in the 50s, and I'm like, how have I not heard about this? I almost want to call BS on that, unless it was like a theory that was positive once by some quack, and then they just nobody took it seriously, and Supro is just like, oh, we can have some fun with this because that's what writers do.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what? Because by that logic, Mr. Freeze should be able to fly. Like fly like Superman. Because if you want to talk about somebody who's cold.
You can't take pseudoscience too seriously, Nate.
It was just usually pseudoscience has some sort of a logic to it, and I don't get this one. This one just baffles me. But
Unless they were thinking of like the absolute zero of space and there being no gravity out there, maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. That if I really wanted to, I could probably dig through it. But a penguin kaiju, I don't typically see penguin kaiju, so I got to give them props for that.
Yeah.
And every day, I think I've only ever seen. I mean, maybe there's been another penguin kaiju, in the history of Ultraman that either I haven't seen or I've just forgotten about. But the only other time I can think of where I've seen a penguin kaiju was not in a show or a movie. It was in a board game. It was, I'm trying to remember if it was King of Tokyo or its sequel, King of New York. It was one of those because they had a penguin kaiju in that one.
Cool.
But all the monsters in that game are wacky. They have a monster called Cyber Bunny, which is literally a rabbit in a mech.
It's right up your alley.
Right up my alley. And I think there was one that was, or was it a kitty? Was it a cat? I don't remember. But it was something. It was like one of those weird juxtaposition things of the cute thing in the scary robot. Whatever. So, so there was that. So Penguin Kaiju, It was fun. It's interesting that he couldn't punch Omega. He just slaps him.
Well, he has flippers,
He has
so
flippers, so what else is he gonna do? But
yeah.
yeah, actually, if you notice that the kaiju on this show so far have been a little strange, and I'm also detecting a little bit of a pattern because judging by the episode preview for next week, we're getting another bird kaiju.
The,
Hmm.
the first one was kind of standard.
The first one was a little bit centered with the drill head and all that, but we haven't so far. All of our monsters have been a little bit strange in some way. I think, other than what were they called? The the bugs. In the opening, those were the ones where like he can get into actual fisticuffs and stuff with them, but otherwise the rest of them he typically has to use different tactics, and he's not going in there and punching and kicking them like they're another humanoid. They're doing something. They're always a little bit strange. Last week the thing didn't just had the dinky little arms, so all it could do was just ram him with his head. And this
Yeah.
one, he's slapping him with the flippers or trying to freeze him.
But the kaiju of the week, so to speak, isn't the kaiju we're here to talk about, gentlemen.
Oh, you don't want to talk about the penguin? You want to talk about who I think is intended to be like the Earth Garon of the show? I still need an Earth Garon figure. Hopefully the prices haven't gotten jacked up yet, because I still really want an Earth Garon.
Same here. I wish I would have bought it last year.
Oh, how much I love Earth Garon. But yes, here's our new boy right here.
Wreckiness.
Wreckiness.
It's a great design. I love the blue and the red.
It is primary colors just go very well together.
It's very slim too. He ain't a thick boy.
And I love how he's connected to Kosei.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to experiment with different layouts here. Nope, that's not working. All right, here we go. No, what is going on? I screwed everything up. I was trying to do like a picture-in-picture thing. Oh, like that. That's how I was going to do it. Never mind. We're going back here. Anyway, we'll do it live. All right. You were saying?
I love how he's connected to Kosei, which means that the next one must be connected to Ayu.
Maybe. I don't know if they'll do that, but here's the thing. I thought at first they were going to make Kosei another Henshin hero. It's just that he turns into a kaiju. It's not.
That's what I thought.
It's not that he doesn't transform into him, but it does seem like they are connected.
Yeah, he can control him, give him orders.
Yeah, you can control him. So it's like this is why Edwin was making the Pokemon jokes earlier.
Yeah.
Which I like it. I think it's cool.
And it will actually turn into the toy, but then the toy becomes animated and sits on his shoulder, so it's literally like he has his own Pikachu.
It's like a parrot, yeah.
Yeah. And I love that part where he starts like rubbing his face against him, and they both start screaming.
I love you.
Kosei starts yelling, and then Wreckiness starts yelling too.
He's like, oh no, he's screaming. Yeah, it's funny. When he's a giant, he's fierce, but then he ends up on his shoulder and he's a goob.
My question is, now I know that he takes commands, but it seems like Wreckiness didn't activate until the color timer went off.
So I noticed that too, and I'm wondering if that's the whole idea, unless it was just like Kosei had to do something to get him to do stuff,
or maybe if Kosei's not giving him any commands, the color timer is like the color timer is like an emergency beacon, and he'll respond to the emergency beacon.
Yeah, that's what makes, again, I like this idea. It's one of those kind of logical conclusions that you can start to draw where if Ultraman has a color timer and he's low in energy or his time is running out, having an ally who jumps in when his timer energy is low just actually makes sense. So it's like Reckiness is a failsafe.
But I think they're not doing coincidences, and I think with there being an Ultraman and 2 ally kaijus and Omega having 2 human allies, I think it's safe to say that the other one will be connected to Ayu.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what the other one. I don't remember what the other one looks like.
Some black and
yellow and
gold, black and yellow,
kind of like her color scheme.
Actually, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've seen
this
some
blue and red.
Yeah, I've seen some promotional stuff with those 2 actors doing stuff like they're showing off some of the toys and all that. So like the guy who plays Kosei, he's got the Reckiness toy. Yeah. But there's some precedents for this. Ultra 7. Basically, it's funny that Edwin's making Pokemon jokes because Ultra 7 has been credited with basically creating Pokemon, because the guy who created Pokemon has said that he was inspired by Ultra 7 because Ultra 7 had capsule monsters. So it's like these little, these little balls, and he would throw them, and he had 3 of them, and then different kaiju would come out and would help him take care of the monster of the week. Yep, 7 right there. And then obviously you had Mega Monster Battle 15 years ago, where that was like the whole thing. It was like Pokemon the space opera, but with Ultra Kaiju. And a little bit of Highlander, weirdly enough. Watch it, it makes sense. Highlander. But well, you should at least watch the first movie. Pick your poison if you want to try to see anything else in the franchise, but still. So it's interesting that it looks like we have a similar dynamic going on here, just not a capsule monster or whatnot. It's just this little thing that is closely tied to him. And I am wondering, because they don't explain, because they find the quote unquote, we'll say the artifact that he is. It's really the toy, but it's the artifact that he is. They don't explain where it came from, or how, or if he has any sort of connections to Omega. So there's still plenty of mystery going on.
Yeah, I wonder if it might have came down with him.
That's a possibility. He did talk a little bit more. He seemed like he remembered at least a little bit, because he's like, "This is where I came from, and I was naked." And he's like, and the girl's like, "What? Why didn't you call the cops?"
And she's like, "You were naked?"
Yeah. Yeah. Why didn't you call the cops? So something's going on. I mean, obviously,
of course, my daughter's response was, "Of course, the hot Asian guy was naked."
Yes, it's not something that happens very often in Ultraman, by the way. I think I've only ever, at least in I've seen a lot of Ultraman, and I think I have only seen real deal nudity in Ultraman, I think twice.
Well, based on my daughter's reaction, if they want to expand their female fan base, they need to have it happen more often.
Sir, there was it Blazar? Yes. Wait, was it? Yes. Do you not remember no, it wasn't Blazar, it was Arc. Do you not remember the laundromat episode of No, it was Blazar.
That was a Blazar.
That was Blazar, like the laundromat episode where they had one of the Science Patrol guys, and boy, howdy, was he jacked.
No, I don't typically remember shirtless Nate.
That one's for the ladies.
I remember that one. He looked like me when he took his shirt off.
Oh, sure. One of these days you're gonna prove that on stream. But
we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Yeah. And then we will be banned on YouTube.
Oh, we'll do it live, all right.
Yeah. Banned on YouTube. But yeah. So there's a little bit of the mysteries kind of getting developed here. I still wonder if there's more going on with him that we still haven't seen, despite the fact that we saw him fighting all the bugs. So we know the audience know that much, but we don't know anything from before that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that we, the audience, are still in the dark. We just know a little bit more than the characters.
I agree.
But yeah, Rekiness had a great premiere. The Penguin was amusing. I'm trying to remember what are some other big things that happened this episode. I think that's about it.
We know in the next episode we're gonna get one of his alternate modes, which is pretty quick, but
yeah, it's relatively quick. But I mean, I've gone on record as saying that I typically see through the gimmickiness of the power-up modes because I know they're being done primarily to sell toys. You know, unless they can figure out a way to kind of put it in there organically. It was one of the things I loved about Blazar because he didn't get a power-up mode for quite a while, and it wasn't ridiculous. They didn't overdo it because that's actually been one of my big criticisms with like Power Ranger Battleizer modes. It's because of like, first off, I know you guys are only doing this, are really only doing this for the toys. And two, as the franchise went on, they started getting more and more garish and ridiculous. And I'm like, I can't anymore.
Right.
Just guys, stop over designing these things. That is a major problem with character design. Is just overdoing it.
Like the telescopic arms for the Triassic power-up mode, which is already a power-up mode.
Wait, isn't that's the Dino Thunder one?
Yes, whenever he has the extendo arms and legs.
Didn't I say on the power trip that was freakishly OP?
Yeah,
like no, they gave it a limit and then they fixed it. I was like, this thing's stupid OP anymore. I don't like it.
Well, I mean, no, the Triassic mode was a power-up mode, and then they gave the power-up mode a Battleizer.
Oh yeah, now I know what you're talking about. It's just like, guys, how many layers? How many layers are we gonna pour on this? It's like, it's the whole, shonen anime power creep thing. It's like, we have reached the pinnacle of our power. No, we're gonna find another one. Goku goes Super Saiyan. I was like, that's as high as he can go. Nope, we have discovered Super Saiyan 2. That's as high as he can go. Nope, we have discovered Super Saiyan 3, which is the goofiest looking one out of all of them. And then it's like, oh, there's Super Saiyan 4, but that's not canon. Yeah,
it's the best looking. Super Saiyan 3 is the best.
Sir, you're going to get something started. You don't know.
I'm just saying, Dragon Ball Z is a prime example of power creep because Goku keeps finding another level to achieve. And I'm like, how much farther are we going to go with this?
All right, you're going to get something started in the chat because I know somebody's in the chat who's a huge Dragon Ball fan.
Yes, I know. It's in the name.
Apparently, we're insulting Goku today.
No, I'm not insulting Goku. I am bemoaning power creep. It's a thing in anime. It's not just Dragon Ball Z. It's basically everything. Even the animes I really like, if they fall under the shonen umbrella, they have to deal with power creep. It's just Tokusatsu has to deal with power creep too. But it's funny that you're saying that this is coming fast because some previous Ultras, they start off with their power-up mode. You watch the first episode of Ultraman Tiga, and he's whipping up both of his ult modes in the first episode.
I think we will get quite a few power-up modes because I've seen advertised for the Red King mode, which I know for me, considering it's throwbacks to all these like old kaiju and stuff, I'm going to be more than okay with it because I'm like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to. I would tell you. I think as ridiculous as Ultraman Zero has been with his power ups, not only in terms of the sheer number of them, but
Ultra Jesus.
how stupid OP they've kind of made Zero at points and inconsistently OP. I would tell you that in my experience, the one who is just the king of the ridiculous power ups is Ultraman Z, because I think he ended up with 4. He had so many alt modes that when you saw his default mode, it was incredibly boring. That's why I do have an Ultraman Z action figure, but I don't like his default mode is just very basic and boring. The one that I wish they had made his default mode, but it's one of the power-ups, is called Alpha Edge. That's the best looking one he has, but he ends up with like 4. It's goofy. But it seems like Supro's been distancing themselves from the sheer toyeticness of the show anymore. They're still wanting to sell the products and the toys, but they have been focusing less on making the shows feel like commercials and more just like, we're going to make cool characters so you want to buy the products.
Right.
Well, let's be fair. We don't know if it's power-up mode or yet. We know he's getting like a sword arm, so it might be they just become weapons.
I think that might be more likely what's going on, is that at the very least he's getting weapons out of them. And you know what? I'm actually cool with that. I'm actually really cool with that, especially if that's how the toys work. It'd be really cool if that's how they made the toy. So like you get the fancy Bandai Omega, and then you go get the fancy Bandai Reckiness, and you can take a piece off of Reckiness and put it on Omega's arm, and he's got a weapon.
Which would be really cool, because just going about logical here, he's obviously having to face his kaiju where his fists don't work like it was against the bugs. So he's going to need weapons based on the specific kaiju he's having to fight. So it's a smart way to do the selling toys gimmick, is making them weapons, maybe not necessarily power-ups.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And Saiyan Girl
gives him an excuse to get wacky with it gives them a chance to get wacky and use their imaginations with the kaiju.
Yeah. Saiyan Girl has a follow-up comment.
Saiyans don't have limits, that's right.
It's very true.
You put a limit on them, they will shatter it.
At least Goku will. He's very good at that.
No, they all do. Goku's just the first. Gohan's got beast mode. Vegeta's got ultra ego. Don't just think it's all about Goku. Don't be one of those guys, Nate.
I just know that a big one of the core facets of Goku's character is pushing himself further
while being a terrible dad.
Okay, no, sir. We're not going down that road. You watch too much 4-star.
Saiyan Girl, please direct your hate comments and mail at the Metal Dawn.
I watch Dragon Ball Z. I know he's a terrible dad.
Nope. We're not getting that. It's not a Dragon Ball podcast, sir. I will school you later.
It's not. No, you won't. Let's move on.
What would you call what do you call a Dragon Ball podcast? Dragon Ball Z-Cast. Yeah. Last time on Dragon Ball Z-Cast.
Let's drop the balls.
Drop the balls.
Just saying.
Just saying. Yeah, that is the wrong sound bank, Marchand. Yeah, that's the one I need. There we go. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, but that would actually encompass all of them, which is a good idea. But yeah.
Anyway, going back to Omega, what's the girl's name again?
Ayu or Ayumu.
Chris, I call dibs.
One of the things we learned at G-Fest last week is the Metal Dawn falls in love with every woman he sees, even if they're old enough to be his grandmother.
That is true. My cutoff age is death.
And he's too chicken to do anything about it. He's too
Hey,
chicken to do
I am
anything
a
about it.
respectful guy.
You know what?
No, you're not.
What would you do? You really want him telling Hiroko Sakurai that he loves her?
I wasn't going to because I didn't want to get kicked out.
Yeah, it's so at least you got some justification there. But we all know if like Mother of Ultra was at Hero Premiere, yeah, it was gonna get a little strange.
Yeah.
But anyway,
no, he was trying to take Lady Batra home from G-Fest.
I look at her picture every day.
Lady Batra, she looks like a freaking Mortal Kombat ninja. Are we talking about Omega or are we transitioning to G-Fest now?
Let's go ahead and transition to
G-Fest. Transition. All right. I do want to share before we move on. I do want to share because Edwin's been throwing comments into the chat. I will share his comments. Let me see. So that's the one about the reveals. I don't know why he's talking about Kamen Rider Black here, but he says Shadow Moon and Black will technically make their Image comics being heavily referenced. Plus, they're getting medieval Spawn, which is great. If it doesn't make the lore and supernatural contradictory, I'm not entirely sure what you're talking about, Edwin. I'm confused on that. Are you saying that there's going to be a Kamen Rider Black Spawn crossover? How do I not know this? Because that actually sounds kind of cool. I've never been a Spawn fan, but that does sound kind of cool. All right, and then this is, turns out taking in an amnesia-riddled Henshin hero is trouble. Been a while since someone handled that problem. Which is true. And then looks like the Kamen Rider Akito professor lucked out with his amnesia-riddled Henshin hero. He basically got a nanny, caretaker for his kids, a cook, and a house husband. I've only seen one episode of Akito. Apparently, I missed a lot.
Me too. I wish I was a house husband though. That's my dream job.
There's actually an anime about that.
Yeah.
I think it's called Way of the House Husband, but it's about a guy who used to be an enforcer for the Yakuza who has now become a house husband. So that's the joke. He's like hyper serious and kind of scary.
There's an anime for everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Did I miss the part where she called us dorks?
It's a bad thing.
Yeah. All right. Edwin.
Yes, apparently you did.
Yeah, one more comment from Edwin. Well, the TV tropes pointed out how their colors in the intros are different, so the connections might spread to his friends or Bakugan. It's funny he's calling them Bakugan. If at one point they're toy and then they're alive, Bakugan Pikachu. Wow. Sir, you have angered the Saiyan Girl. You have
it's true. It's true.
The rage, sir. The rage.
Sorry, but truth hurts.
Hell hath no fury. I'm just saying.
Rose, you can't reason with him. He also thinks that Johnny was not a jerk in
You know her real name.
Karate Kid.
No, I didn't say he wasn't a jerk. I just said he wasn't the bad guy. Daniel's the bad guy. He's a little dick.
Yeah, see.
Wow.
Yeah. They were both jerks.
He got what was coming.
You're arguing with an idiot.
Johnny's the real hero. He's one of those people.
Yeah, he is.
All right, and Edwin has clarified.
Yeah, you can't reason with him.
Yeah, nope. Edwin clarifies. He says Rokusen's referencing Kamen Rider Black in an upcoming issue. Yeah, it's just something Rokusen and his little brother are watching on TV. Well, that's kind of amusing. I know that he has been talking so much about Rokusen. Apparently, I need to start reading Rokusen because it's. What is it? Ryan? No, it's not Ryan Parrott. It's the. Dang it. His name is escaping me. The original Power Ranger comic writer.
Kyle Higgins.
Kyle Higgins. It's Kyle Higgins' new thing. He's an avid fan. He's been reading it quite a bit. What else, Edwin? Rogue Sun is going to team up with Medieval Spawn, Sir John of York. Okay, so it's a Rogue Sun Spawn crossover. Okay, that makes more sense. Medieval Spawn. Yeah, so there you go. But anyway. All right. So we're going to start talking about some G-Fest here. This portion, the audio of it at least, will be getting sent out as a bonus episode on our podcast feed. So, Jake, this was your second G-Fest. Your first was last year. So, and that's where you and I actually met in person for the first time. And Chris, this was not only your first G-Fest, it was your first convention ever.
Yep. Indeed.
So did you,
And
how overwhelmed did you feel?
I wasn't overwhelmed. It was a good first con. It's not too big, it's not too small. There's a lot to do. They do a very good job letting you know where things are for the most part, except for letting you know where like the tattoo artist room was and stuff like that, or where each stuff was on what level at first. Yeah. But it's pretty easy to figure out. They've got to move that the dealer hall to the convention.
They need to move the entire
dealer hall, because good lord,
they need to move the entire convention to the convention center.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
Yeah. They don't have to rent out the entire convention center because it's but yeah, they at least one floor maybe.
Yeah, maybe not the whole thing, but they need to move it. They moved to the Hyatt because they outgrew the Crown Plaza, but they were in the Crown Plaza in Rosemont. And for those who don't know, G-Fest is a massive, originally was a Godzilla centric convention, started in 1994 where it was a closed event, and then it was a public event in 1995. It's been in a couple of different locations, but they have really settled into Rosemont, Illinois. I started going in 2017. That was my first one, and it was at the Crown Plaza, and it was like, it's grown exponentially since then. I think there was maybe around 2,000 people who attended when it was at Crown Plaza, and last year I think they had 7,000, and I think they've overshot that now. This year they have been growing exponentially, like I said, but they moved to the Hyatt, which is a bigger hotel, because there was too small. But they were at the Crown Plaza for years. I have a feeling they're going to have to move out of the Hyatt now, and they've only been there. I think this was their 22, 23, 24, 25. This is their fourth year there.
Right.
So it's bonkers.
With the direction that they're going, and with the direction that they're going, and they're them including Ultraman and possibly other tokusatsu in the future, because they now have like Gamera and other kaiju related things. Because let's face that there's not, while we all love the Big G, he's not getting enough releases to sustain a continued solo convention and it grow and be big and be financially prosperous every year.
In my experience, the other big kaiju, like your Gamera, your Kong, they had a presence at G-Fest. Godzilla was still the biggest one. Ultraman only had a little bit of a presence when I was first there, and it seems like he's about the only Henshin hero who was allowed into G-Fest. They did, because you would see almost nothing for anybody besides Ultraman. And I've said for years it's because of the AG Tsuburaya connections with Godzilla. But now, as time has gone on, and the Mill Creek's been releasing more Ultra series, and Tsuburaya has been pushing hard to make Ultraman this international brand. Ultraman's presence at G-Fest has been growing quite a bit, to the point where this year Ultraman took over an entire corner of the convention with Ultraman the Hero premiere.
And it needed to be
Ultraman
bigger.
kind of, yeah, because it was a last minute addition. He needs, but with all that's going, I can kind of understand why a lot of the purists were upset, because Ultraman is releasing so much right now. Ultraman kind of took over G-Fest this year.
A little bit, not entirely. Godzilla is still the king of G-Fest. But there was more Ultraman there than I have ever seen before. There were more Ultraman panels, including one that I did with John LeMay called Ultraman Unmade, and you had the hero premiere and all of this stuff going on. The card game. You went into the dealer hall. You went into the dealer hall, and there was a new. I ran out to the G-Fest Hall portion of this, but I'm going to put this up here because I got a free copy of this, because I promised to do some hop train work for this one, and I am planning on interviewing the author of this. But they were promoting the first book of Ultra Academy, which is it looks like a middle grade book to me, but it might be more like a YA novel. I'm not sure, but it looks like a middle grade book to me.
It's middle grade.
It's middle grade, yeah. But Rebecca K. Reynolds, she gave me a free signed copy, and yes, I will make arrangements to interview her, because this is one of those times where I can take this interview and basically put it on everything I do. Like, I'll put it on this podcast feed, on the Film Vault podcast feed, on my author YouTube channel. Like, I can put it on everything. So yes. I will, and I also will be writing a review of this. I have not started reading it yet, but I have flipped through it, and there's some very entertaining things in it. But we'll get to that when we get to the Hull, portion of that.
Yes,
of this discussion.
Yeah, and I was able to talk to her business partner, and he gave us his card, and we might have some exciting details that we can't talk about yet coming down the pike.
Mm-hmm.
We were very busy talking to people connected to Ultraman this year.
Yeah, this was the busiest G-Fest that I have seen, and this is coming from someone who was going to G-Fest when they were doing 3 panels. They had 3 panel rooms, and they were doing 3 panels at once. Now, since they moved to the Hyatt, they've only been doing 2 at once, but this was not only the busiest I've seen G-Fest in terms of stuff going on, it was also the busiest for me, because I did 9 hours of programming for G-Fest, which
too much.
Which we will.
And he's already planning for 50 next year, so we won't get to see him next G-Fest, Nate.
Unless you hey, I will be advocating for us to have a panel. Cool your jet Jaguars, all right? Okay.
Yes, we'll get him for 1 hour.
Cool, Amanda,
okay. All right.
Okay. But anyway, so what I usually like,
and all the while I'm thinking about it, and all the excitement last year for all the announcements we got, there was one major one I forgot to mention. November 15th to the 23rd, 2025, in the American Dream Mall in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Ultraman Live.
Send me that information, because I forgot it. Because I'm definitely going to go to that.
Yeah, it is the stage show.
So
it is
gentlemen, we might be meeting up in November.
Yes, I want to go so bad.
You need to.
And gentlemen, there's going to be a special appearance by Christopher Sean, the voice of Ken Sato in Ultraman in Netflix, Ultraman Rising.
Yep.
So we're getting an American Ultra there.
Yeah, I want to go so bad. And what would make it even better? We could meet up with Kim, Kaiju Kim, She lives in that area.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, she lives in New Jersey because I tease her about being a Jersey girl, and it's like we don't talk like that. I was like, sorry.
You get
Yeah,
away with it because you're her Superman.
yeah. Well, I'll probably talk more about that tomorrow because I'm hoping to do this like mega stream tomorrow with several of my content creator friends, and it'll go out to like 4 different YouTube channels. It will be insane, but what I like to do is kind of like go day by day with this. So, you know, but I'm probably going to defer to you guys quite a bit since, this is going to be your primary avenue to talk about this. But the first thing that we have to mention, if you follow the Film Vault on TikTok, you already know about this, but this was funny. So, well, the con is technically Friday, Saturday, Sunday. However, they do some stuff the day before on Thursday. So that's typically when I go. It takes about 3.5 hours. It's about a 3.5 hour drive. So I will get up super early on Thursday morning, and I will drive my brother Jared. We will drive all the way there. Well, Jake decided that he didn't like flying last year, so he's going to drive this time. And he's like, man, it's going to be like 12 hours. And I was like, okay, you have fun with that. So he got a hold of me I think, I can't remember if it was either the Monday or Tuesday before this. And
I think it was Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah. And he's just like, hey, I don't want to drive for 12 hours. Can I crash at your place the night before? And I'm like, sure, dude. Because he didn't come to my apartment. We just met at the con last year. So like, this will be kind of cool. You could actually see the place that you've been seeing on live streams and videos and things that I've been doing. So you can actually see the whole place. And so he came the day before. We made a little unboxing video because I got something in the mail using some birthday money because my birthday was a couple weeks ago that was relevant not only to the Metal Dawn, but also relevant to the podcast. So we did a little unboxing video where I unveiled that I had purchased because I got it on sale because Amazon first off, it was already on sale to begin with. And then Amazon randomly gave me a 30% off coupon for this item. I was like, sure. So I made the purchase and I got Space Sheriff Sherivan. So we unboxed it. I made him dinner and we watched the first episode. And good times were had by all. Yeah. It was all action and exposition. There was nothing else in that episode.
Yeah. Don't even know what the story was.
I'm still not sure. It's just stuff happened and people talked.
Sounds like quite the romantic evening, gentlemen.
Yeah, so it was quite the evening. Then we got all packed up, and then on what I like to call day -1, we all drove up there. Well, here's the funny thing. There was a point where he's like, I'm going to stop to get gas, but I didn't see the text message, and I just kept going. But then funny enough, because I missed a turn trying to get to the hotel, and so I lost a little bit of time. We ended up parking in about the same area at the same time.
Yeah, I even stopped, got fuel, went inside, used the bathroom, and sat in that traffic for like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yes, because Chicago traffic continues to remind me that it is equal parts Fast and Furious and Darwinism. Although it wasn't quite as bad this year, but it got gummed up in a few places. So we arrived.
If you ever come to Chattanooga, you won't make it.
We get it. You've been telling us about that all the time. But unfortunately, this goober couldn't show up at the same time as the rest of us.
No.
Because he had to work.
No.
He had to work,
My gosh.
and then he had to drive 10 hours.
Yeah, and insanity ensued, but next year, my plan is to get up there the Wednesday before everything begins, have everything set up. So I'll be waiting on your
Oh, so you're not gonna come
retarded bus to
crash? You're not
show
gonna
up.
come crash at my apartment like the Metal Don? So so we
No,
can't have like
sir, I
we can't.
snore.
You're
Jake
not
will
gonna
tell you.
come and hang out with Nate and have like boys' night the day before G Fest.
No, I snore. Jake will tell you.
Very loudly.
we had a
Yes.
we had some severe snoring in our room. I was trying to figure out who it was. I thought it was Jake actually at first, but
It probably was.
it probably was.
I've been told I snore, so
So if both of you snore, you're definitely staying in the living room. Because I'm like, I'm gonna go over here
No,
and back to the
I'm staying in the
master
living room
bedroom.
regardless, sir.
What?
I'm staying in the living room regardless, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thankfully we were able to check in early. So we got stuff out of the car. Jake and I and we had 6 roommates. We had 6 people in a room, which was great for saving money. It really was. And we had some cool roommates. It was my friend Matt Walsh, but not that Matt Walsh. Jared, Jake, and Roger and Kyle.
Yep.
Who came all the way to G-Fest from Hawaii.
And I found out Roger lives like an hour away from me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
small world.
Small world. So yeah, so we all got situated. And then the stuff that goes on the day before G-Fest, for those who don't know, there is a theater that's about a 10-minute or so drive away called the Pickwick. If anybody here grew up watching Siskel and Ebert, you actually will see the Pickwick because both of those guys were from Chicago. You'll see the Pickwick at the very end of their intro sequence because it's the theater that they're walking to. It's an old-timey theater. It has a massive auditorium. This auditorium is huge. And they've actually upgraded the screen. It used to be a lot smaller, and now they've upgraded it to what they called a mega theater. I think you can seat about 1,000 people in that auditorium. It's crazy. And it's like it's a very old-fashioned theater. It's an old theater. We're talking like going back to the 20s, I think. And the facade of the theater looks like a I say this mostly because I always have Godzilla on the brain when I'm at the Pickwick, but it looks like the Diet Building in Chicago and not in Tokyo. So it's a very cool looking theater. So they do movie screenings at that theater. They do one on Saturday, one on Friday night, and on Thursday they do 2 double features. And I try to go to the double features the day before. So we went to the first double features. It was Frankenstein Conquers the World and War of the Gargantuas. And they were clearly using DVDs to show these things because they looked terrible on the big screen. Especially War of the Gargantuas because, and I have the DVDs that I know that they used. And for whatever reason, the Japanese version of Gargantuas looks a lot worse than the dub version on that DVD. I don't know why. So that was the first thing we did. Won't get into too much about that. And then, as is tradition, at least with me, and I've made it other people's tradition now, we went to Giordano's, which it's a pizza place, a very, very Chicago style pizza place. I will admit it's a little bit less special for me now because Giordano's has expanded and now there is one here in Fort Wayne. So now it's a little less interesting. And there's one in Indianapolis, and I've been to that one too. But so that's where we met a ton of my friends there. Like it was just we had to take over several tables. We were so huge that was it this one? No, it was at Caddyshack where they said our party was so huge that they were going to have to make it one bill.
Yeah.
It was at Caddyshack.
Luckily they didn't. So
They didn't do that at Giordano's, but we took over like one long table and then an adjacent smaller table. Like we had probably, gee whiz, I think at least 15 people there.
yeah, something like that.
It was nuts. Absolutely nuts. And I was actually able to meet some people that I've been collaborating with for a while in the kaiju content creation sphere for the first time, and so we were all having dinner there. And then we went back for the next double feature, which was Godzilla versus Destroya, which was the last entry in the Heisei series, and Terror of Mechagodzilla, which was the second time I had seen this at the Pickwick, because they played it a couple years ago, but this year was its anniversary, so they were playing it again. It's my first Godzilla film, still one of my favorites, and this is where Sentai Guy finally comes into the story.
Yeah, I come in at the end of Destroyer, and that was a very long battle. It was fun, and then
Are you talking about your Godzilla's battle against
Mecha-
Destroya, or your fight against fatigue?
Probably both.
No, the battle against Destroyer. I wasn't actually fatigued till I sat down and we got to Terra Mecha Godzilla started, and we got into all that exposition and build up where there's no real monsters or anything like that, and that's when Jake finds out I'm a loud snorer.
I need to sit
Yeah.
you. I need to sit you down and make you watch that when you're in a better frame of mind.
That was the first time I watched it.
Yeah, but I believe, if I remember correctly, Chris, it was during the intermission between the movies where I finally met you. I was standing in the line. I was standing in line to go to the downstairs, because the restrooms in this section of the theater are downstairs. I was standing in line to go to the restroom.
I was actually trying to find, because you weren't getting your phone out. He was texting me. He said he was going to the bathroom. So I was actually waiting to meet Jake, and then I see you standing head and shoulders above everybody else because,
Yeah, this is one thing. We finally met each other. Yes, I'm nearly 6'1", so and he wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah.
Well, did you see me first or did you hear me?
I don't know. I actually thought you'd be taller.
Oh,
I heard you first. Okay.
I was downstairs and I heard you.
I was just talking with people in line, and you just walked right over.
You're heard before you're seen, sir, and that's quite the accomplishment.
It is quite the accomplishment. You just walked over and you're just, I forget what exactly you said to me, but it was like, you called me Marchand. That's all
I was like, hey, mother trucker.
Yeah, something like that. Like when you greeted me, and I'm like, oh, it's like, I'm going to be honest with you, because like there were a couple of people I met for the first time this year, and I actually had routines kind of worked up about how I was going to greet them. And with you, it was either going to be the Predator handshake, or I was going to come up behind you and do the great leader voice in your ear. Just like grab you from behind and be like, hello, you ridiculous redneck, or something like
that. Yeah, I think the way we did it was better, because I might have tried to throw you if you came up from behind.
Yeah, maybe, but so you and I finally met in person. I took care of my business in the bathroom, and then I came back from the bathroom, and I just like grabbed the both of you from behind, and put my arms around you, and then I got a picture. I took a 3-person selfie of us, and it was just like, together at last,
Yep.
And then we finished the double feature, and I told you, I was like, if we're gonna be together and we're podcasters, we got to do some recording. And
that night was the last time the three of us hung out until Sunday.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was not. It was not. But I knew Thursday night, given our schedules, was probably going to be the easiest time for us to do this. So I went down to where the writers panel was going to be, because as you found out from Saiyan Girl, who worked a con at that same hotel a few weeks before this, yeah, they're not paying attention to any of these rooms. So we just went in there. I set up and we recorded our season finale, where we talked about the first year of the podcast and we ranked all the stuff that we covered and announced what we're doing for season 2. And it went a little longer than I expected, and boy howdy, that'll be an interesting episode when we finally get to that. You also were, both of you were angry. You both were angry at me because they're like, "How are you still awake?" And I said, "I don't know." It's the magic of G-Fest.
No, we said we were going to hold you down and get your blood analyzed because there's no way it's just energy drinks. All right, there's either cocaine in there, or we need to like mass produce your blood and have it injected to everybody here in the world because there's something.
I am in fact
different about you. So.
I was going to say I am in fact a mutant of some kind, you know, through a random combination of my parents' genes and my Hoosier upbringing, and my clean living.
I'm convinced at this point you are a shocker experiment, which would explain why the great leader is always around.
I am in fact a shocker kaijin. And my superpower, instead of looking like some grotesque monstrosity, my superpower is just nearly boundless energy.
No, your boundless energy is what they use to power their facilities. That's what it is. You're their power source.
We won't talk about where they put the plugs.
I'd like to know.
No,
you don't.
Of course you would, tentacle boy.
I like Tentacle Boy. I'll change my name to Tentacle Boy.
Oh, good Lord, can we not? People, trust me. Just wait until the Guyver episodes start coming out. That's all I'm saying.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
One of us hated the first Guyver 2's transformation, and one of us really loved it.
And then there was you.
The reactions you're getting right now. Yeah,
and then there was you.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Who is who based off their different reactions right now.
Okay, we do have some comments that some more comments I'm going to go on before we go on to first before we continue. But Saiyan Girl is just he just needs to rewatch Dragon Ball Z with new eyes after I replace the old ones. That sounds like a threat, sir. That is definitely a threat.
I watch it with my third eye all the way open.
Ooh, all right, TN. But
oh my God,
yeah. I know enough to be dangerous, but
it's probably more of a reference to Snake Way, knowing this guy.
Yeah, but Edwin. No, wait, no, not Edwin. I needed this one. This is related to what we were saying about G-Fest. She says it definitely needs to be moved to the actual convention center. That way the lines won't be so crazy and all the panel shows can have a bigger place to showcase them. I have heard rumors that is exactly what they're going to do next year, especially since I have heard from Mr. Jeff Gomez at Ultraman Connection that Tsuburaya was very happy with how things went this year, and they will be back next year. But also keep in mind, they're ramping up for the 60th anniversary of Ultraman. So next G-Fest is going to be the 60th anniversary of Ultraman. So of course they're going to come back. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's going to be crazy. Next year's going to be.
They unveiled the 60th anniversary logo for Ultraman this year. This was the 60th anniversary of Ultra Q. So this is kind of
Ultra Q started in 66 as well. It was just in like January.
Okay.
Yeah. But here's the
But yeah,
thing. But here's the thing. The reason why it seems like they're ramping it up already is because, and this is an interesting cultural thing I have found out. For the Japanese, when it comes to celebrating anniversaries, it's actually the lead up to the actual anniversary that is the most important to them. The actual anniversary is the least important part. So that's why they will celebrate anniversaries in the months leading up to it. That's when they like to, basically it's when they like to party. Whereas it's more of a Western tradition to put the emphasis on the day itself with maybe a little bit of build up to it.
Well, if you notice with Japanese TV shows, it's often about the journey, not the final destination. That's why usually finales are not that nearly as big of a deal. So, like, because to Westerners, we watch like, especially like the old Showa era shows, and we're like, the finale was kind of meh. Well, yeah, because they did everything they wanted to before the finale.
Mm-hmm.
The finale's literally wrapping everything up.
Right. Edwin has a little comment about our talk about me possibly being a Shocker Kaijin. Says, you're just part of Shocker's Project Rebirth, like Hydra Steve Rogers, perfect voice for it. I don't know how to feel about being compared to Hydra to Hydra Cap. Woo! I have opinions about Hydra Cap. And
then he says, you don't have a
yeah, I have opinions about a lot of things. And he also says, repeat the Guyver rep from the first movie.
We will get canceled, sir. We will not be doing that.
Oh lordy.
Not because it has anything offensive per se, but it's so stereotypically
ghetto.
Yeah, too stereotypical.
Yeah. I will say
dude. Okay.
I'm just gonna say, I don't want to give away all of our Guyver coverage, but let's just say, at least for Chris and I, because the Metal Don has not seen the live action movies yet, as he should. Chris and I walked away with a greater appreciation for the live action movies after watching all the animes, when I was told actually at one point, you're not allowed to watch the live action movies until you've read the manga and watched all the animes. And I'm like, sorry, dude, I've watched the animes now, and I think I like the live action movies a bit more now. So anyway, so
they had to streamline a lot for the movies, and they did Americanize the protagonist. And I understand why they left certain characters out, because they could kind of be problematic unless you're going to do something long term.
Yeah.
And one guy and you'll find out as you go along, one guy we really liked turned out to be kind of somebody we didn't like very much at the end. So
yeah. But anyway, day 1 of G-Fest, Friday. This is where, unfortunately, our stories start diverging a little bit, because I had 3 hours. I had 3 hours of paneling the first day. I had 5 hours technically, because I had one panel and then the writer's workshop, which was split into two 2-hour blocks. And then I only had 1 hour of paneling on the last day. So I think the first thing that we all tried to do is we went to Hero Premiere, because that was the new thing for me. And I wanted to see what it was like. I wish I had prepared a little bit more ahead of time, because I would have loved to have shown some of the pictures and videos that I took from Hero Premiere, because it was epic. I did record one of the stage fights that they did, and I will post that onto the YouTubes for people to see. But I'm trying to figure out exactly how to describe Hero Premiere, because I thought it was going to be something of a stage show, and it is and it isn't. It's
a bit of a meet and greet with a stage show, with almost like a Dojo Studios thing going on.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, Dojo Studios is a little production team. They make movies, and they are closely tied to G-Fest. They have been there, I think, for years. I don't know if they were there from the beginning or not. And Dojo was contacted and basically what they do is you come to G-Fest, you can actually see them using their props, and they do things the old-fashioned way with suits and miniatures and things like that. And in years past, they've actually filmed short films at G-Fest. So they'll film it that year and then show it the next year. And they do a thing where they tell congoers is like, hey, do you want to be in the movie? You can be part of a fleeing crowd. And I actually did that one year. So, if you see any of the last one that they did, I have a blink and you miss a cameo in it. So people will come in and they'll actually see them filming things and doing stuff, and they'll put their costumes on and go mingle with the crowd like they're cosplayers. Well, they actually gave up a little bit of their space for Hero Premiere, which I thought was very cool of them. So it has this archway entrance, and again, I wish I had the pictures. And you walk in there, there's a guy, they have a table where they were selling the Ultraman card game, and they had some statues set up of Omega and the original Ultraman where you can go and take pictures. They have a stage set up where they have meet and greets with the Ultraman characters. And it's like, I was telling people, it's like Disney World or Disneyland. When you're there, they're the characters. We know that they're guys wearing suits, but when this is happening, that doesn't matter. They're the characters.
Yeah.
And they had Hiroko Sakurai, Fuji, from the original show, and she was in Ultra Q as well. She was there as a special guest, but also kind of separate from the other special guests at G-Fest. It's kind of weird. So she was at G-Fest, but she wasn't a G-Fest guest because they didn't have her, I think, when they did the opening ceremonies on Friday night when they're bringing in all of the celebrity guests. She wasn't there, weirdly enough. So she's a guest of Ultraman Hero Premiere. But
yeah, she's part of the Ultraman premiere. She ended up doing a talk. Well, that's another day. But
yeah, that's another
oh,
day. I will say this because I wanted to make sure I got there because she was only going to be signing at certain hours. So I did get her signature. This is an old DVD edition of the original show that it's not a great release, but this was one of the only releases that you could get. Well, this was really the only release you could get for it. So one of my justifications, if I don't want to give up some older physical media when I upgrade, is I just have people sign it. Yeah, so I have an excuse to keep it. But here's the funny thing. The reason why it's in this plastic bag is because I did not do the smart thing and take this cover out. She actually signed on the plastic on the outside. And because of that, you can't really see it, but I think I actually have her fingerprint on here because there's a small smudge on part of the signature. And I don't think it was me. And so if anyone needs her fingerprint, I think I have it.
great.
Nice.
He's going to clone his own Fuji.
Yeah, I can't. We're not.
Get me one too.
But here's the funny thing. Because I brought my own thing for the signature, when normally she'd probably be signing like the myriad of pictures that she had, they told me I could take one of the pictures home. It just would be unsigned. So I grabbed this one and they said, oh yeah, that one's really popular. And I can see why. It's Miss Sakurai looking pretty hanging out with Bemular. Who wouldn't want to take this? I mean, look at that smile. I love her smile.
I'll get it next year when I come to your apartment. you might be missing it.
Oh, really? That sounds like a threat.
Yeah. That's a promise.
A promise.
Yeah.
So we were able to do that. Ultraman was there doing a meet and greet. Unfortunately, getting through the line for Miss Sakurai took too long, so we didn't get to meet Ultraman then. But we did get to meet Jaras, aka not Godzilla, really.
Yeah. That was actually really cool. The suit actor for Jaws showed the most personality. Felt when we went up there, he actually was scratching Saiyan Girl's head, and then I told him that the we all know the fight was rigged, and he gave me a approving headbutt.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
yeah, so Jaws was really cool. It's the now this is across all 3 days, but I'm gonna try to go through who all we saw. We saw Ultraman, Ultraman Arc, Omega was there, Zero,
Belial,
Belial. We had
A
Jirash,
B.
Baltan, I'm blanking
Pigmon,
on the what we had
Pigmon,
Pigmon, um, hmm, the one from our favorite episode. It's getting late. I'm tired.
Jamila.
Jamila.
Chimula, yeah. Jamila, he was there. Fuji said he was her favorite as well when they
Mhm,
did the little talk show thing.
mhm.
She said that was that was a really different episode, and that was one that really hit them all personally.
Yeah,
Um,
I can tell. It
but
honestly might be my favorite episode of the original show.
yeah, and then as we mentioned, they had Jaros, and that was, I think, um, uh, yeah, I think that was pretty much it. They had like 4 or 5 ultras, and then four
Yeah.
or five
Well, what really got to
other
me
monsters.
is they had more people, they had more characters than what, if you looked at the G-Fest schedule, they had more characters than what they advertised.
Yeah. I didn't know
Because
Ark was gonna be there.
I didn't know
Omega,
Arc
Zero.
or Omega were going to be there. I was
Mm-mm.
expecting Omega to be there because his show just started, so he should be there.
Yeah.
But I did not see him while I was there. I did not see Arc while I was there. But
But dear planners of G Fest, next year, may I suggest, if you're going to show an Ultraman movie, don't have an Ultraman panel at the exact same time.
yeah, because that's what kept me. You
Yeah.
guys got to, on Saturday, you guys got to see the Arc movie downstairs as part of the film festival because, as we talked about last week, they did a massive announcement of new Mill Creek releases, including Arc, which is the one I was predicting. But I
Mhm.
was doing my Ultraman on Made panel with John LeMay while that was going on. And right before that was Alex Rushdie doing Ultraman 101. So they had all 2 Ultraman
Yeah.
panels back to back.
So I think there was some stuff thrown in last minute, so some of the planning was a little bit off. Hopefully next year there'll be better communication so that
Yeah.
the people who were, so that you're not having a chance to going to an Ultraman panel and going to see the Ultraman Arc movie, which actually takes place in between episodes 20 and 21
Yeah. Takes place during
of
the show,
Ultraman Arc, and
which is a little
explains why
different.
Shu.
It is different. I hope they do
Yeah,
make another movie where it's after the show.
Yeah. Typically when they do their finale, I always call them the finale movies. They're after the show. Like the
Yeah.
Blazar movie was after the show.
Mhm.
And yeah, I
yeah,
think all the ones that I've
but
watched.
uh, it explains why Shu suddenly is bandaged up in the show.
Yeah. So clearly they had planned for this. So we did stuff there for a little while. And then I had to leave because let's see, I had my first panel, which was the Kaiju Writers panel, which is all but my and Danny DeMana's panel at this point. So that was at 1 o'clock and it went 2 hours. So that's what I was doing. What were you guys up to during that time?
Well, we went to the dealer room.
You managed to get
Dealer
in at that
room.
point? Because that line was forever long.
It was.
Yeah.
We stayed for a little while in the dealer room. Then I think we went back to the
And
hero
then
premiere after that.
We need to mention. We need to mention. This is where. Isn't this when Saiyan Girl comes in? No, it was actually at Hero. It was actually at Hero Premiere because she was there with us. Yeah, because she's still in the chat.
Yeah.
Ross was awesome. She said.
Ross is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she was hanging out with us pretty much the whole weekend.
First time any of us have
since
met her.
Nate
First time any of us have met her in person too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But so she was hanging out with us. We were in the dealer room for a while, but I think we actually went to his panel to the writers panel because we want to show our support.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
That's
then
right.
there was an announcement that somebody was going to be at the Hero premiere, so we abandoned Nate. It's like, screw that guy, we're gone.
Yeah. Who was at Hero Premiere?
Who was it that we
who
left to
was
go
it?
see?
Was that when you guys saw the Ultraman versus Jurassic fight? Because besides the meet and
I
greets, they
think
would
so. Yeah, I think we went to go
they
see.
would do, they did
Yeah.
a few actual like stage fights on there to
Oh
entertain
no, they did a
people.
lot throughout the day. I think they were averaging, especially Tuesday and Friday and Saturday, they were doing 4 or 5 different little stage shows. They had Ultraman versus Juros, Ultraman versus Ballpen,
They did
and I think they
Zero
were
versus
rotating those
Belial.
out. But that was that was the main event and you got to see it. They didn't repeat that one. They repeated Ultraman versus Juros a lot.
And they did Zero and Belial, I think, at least twice during the weekend.
Yeah, and I missed it.
But
also missed Ultraman and Belial fight.
Yeah.
So that's what you guys were up to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how was
you got to see some cool. You got to see Ultraman and Ultraman Zero meet, then Ultraman and Ultraman Omega, the first and the most recent meet. They did some really cool stuff with that. Like, you think, oh, this is just in the standard fare. Like, no, he all of a sudden got help from like Ultraman Arc or one of the other Ultraman.
I saw a video of one where they actually had Hiroko Sakurai come out and she had the old gun prop from the original show.
Talk show.
Yeah. Oh, it was during the talk show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a talk show. That was on Saturday. That
was when Jamila came out too.
Yeah.
Jamila came out.
I have to give these performers credit. They do not break character. They take it absolutely seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they're in those costumes and they come out, because they have curtains where obviously they're going back there and they're changing and things like that. We all know these things, but they are selling this as hard as possible. Like they are the characters once they walk out.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. We got things not Ultraman related. There was a lot of costume work with different Godzillas from different eras. They actually had a rumble in the hall between 3 different Godzillas. One from Heisei, Showa, and Millennium.
Mm-hmm.
I
think that was more Dojo Studios. Those were the Dojo Studios guys, right?
Yes, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, they had the costume that was never actually used because they went CGI motion capture, but the prototype for Zilla.
Mm-hmm.
Because Zilla was there, but you could tell it was unfinished.
Yeah. They did use a suit briefly because they had the suit actor there, Kurt Carley. He was one of the guests there, but he says like, "Yeah, I'm only in like a couple of shots." But I did it.
Yeah.
So yes,
but
go ahead.
But yeah, it was the unfinished suit. It was the prototype.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I finished the writers panel, and then I had an hour to kill in between that and my next panel, which was the Gamera 60th. I think I went into the dealer hall for the first time because the line was a lot easier to manage by then.
Yeah. Don't go to the dealer
I
hall
think.
when they first open. We learned that because
There
after
were,
that, the line gets
dude,
a lot easier to manage.
dude, there were people the night before when we were packing up and leaving after it was like 2 o'clock in the morning when we finished recording our finale. There were people who were treating the dealer hall like it was the Phantom Menace at midnight. They were already there. They had been there for 4 hours just to be the first people in line.
You gotta
Yeah,
respect the
but the
hustle.
thing is, yeah, but the thing is, after you at when we come out, that line was gone, pretty much, and almost everything that you wanted was still there. So
Yeah, I know the dealer hall is one of the big draws at G-Fest, and I'm still astonished how hardcore some people are still about that. I have a feeling
I
things.
learned. See, I didn't bring a lot of money this because it was my first con. I wanted to get a feel, see what it was like, and stuff like that. And I learned really quick, unless it's a rare item, a really rare item, there's no need to break your neck to get in there because they bring multiples of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and there was even one. There was a Shadow Moon there that had been there since last year, and it finally got knocked down to $20. And Jake was
I
going
was
to
gonna
get
say,
it,
do we want
but then
to
he
tell that
got
story?
blocked.
Do we want to tell that story
But
now?
then, but then, but then he got blocked by his co-host, and he still hasn't forgiven him. He almost quit over it.
For $20 freaking dollars.
Okay. Since we're going there, I'm going
And
to
it's
tell
the
the story. I
SH
will tell the
figure.
story. I will tell the story. Shut up. Anyway, so this is at Toku Toy Town, run by Jay Key, one of the best friends of the podcast that I have for MIFV. This dude loves me, and he's also far too generous. I have no idea how Jay stays in business because he has this ridiculous habit of cutting people deals. All right. Okay. At least with certain people. I don't. I know he does this with a lot of people. It's just, I guess, with whatever. So this is an SH Figure Arts Shadow Moon. I asked him, "How long have you had this thing?" Because I remember seeing it last year. I'd seen it on his website, Toku Toy Town. Go visit it. You'll find some cool stuff on there, especially if you love Sofubi. That's one of his claims to fame. So this was labeled $65, and so yeah, I've had this for 3 years. Okay, if I come back later, how much would you give it to me for? Because I was still gonna go look around and get some more stuff. And he's just like, $20. I'm like, it's coming with me now. Yeah,
And I was standing right there
it
listening.
was standing.
I gave Nate the most hateful look.
I couldn't believe he was giving it to me for 20. I was thinking maybe 40, 45. He just says 20. He just wanted to get rid of this stupid thing. And I'm like, it's coming
Because
with me
Jake
now.
said he told me and Saiyan Girl that I'm going back there. I'm going to go get the Shadow Moon figure. That's why he went back to the dealer hall, and he had to watch as it slipped through his fingers.
I wasn't even gonna do it. I was just like, 65 is probably a little much. He might give it like 45. I thought 45. I thought he would say 45. And he said 20. I'm like, okay, I'm buying it now. And note to self: buy Jake an SH Figure Art Shadow Moon.
Yes.
At full price. Don't bother
It's
showing
all
up to
right.
G-Fest next year without it.
It's all right. I'll get the black, and you can have Shadow Moon.
Edwin is doing some deep cutting over here. He's like, don't you mean Robo Rider?
No, we don't mean Robo Rider.
No, go jump off a cliff.
No,
No,
he's our biggest fan. No, for the love of Godzilla, no.
not with comments like that. He's not mentioning Masked Rider.
It says the guy who threatened us with it for a hot second when we recorded the finale. Anyway,
Hey, spoilers.
Come on,
Stop.
dude. It's like, dude, it's like a big joke on this show. It's like we're gonna say like, oh, eventually we'll review, Masked Rider, and then we'll just never do it. The most you'll get is that Christmas
Yeah.
episode. We'll just never do it. We will still be doing this podcast 10 and 20 years from now, and we will still have never touched Masked Rider.
You say that the next season Jake will pick it, then you and I will quit, and he'll be doing the show by himself.
It'll be rebranded the Metal Dawn Show.
Yeah, pretty much. 'Cause I ain't watching it.
Oh
Oh,
lordy.
you will. You will.
That will be the
Oh lordy.
no. I tell you, sir, you pick that, and it will be the Nate and Jake shows. Like, so what? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't watch it. Like I told you, I wasn't watching it.
All right, calm down, fellas. All right, I know we're riled up about the whole Shadow Moon thing. So I did the Gamera 60th panel, and I don't know were you guys there for that panel? Or were you doing other things?
We were
No.
we were doing other things. I think we were
Doing other
they were throwing a lot of stuff out at the Hero premiere at that time, so that's where we were.
Mhm.
And then they did this was the first day they did the writers panel, where not the writers panel, but the author for Baltan.
Oh, for Beware the Baleful Baltan. Rebecca
Baltan.
Reynolds. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Very very nice. Oh yeah. Okay,
Very
Jake,
beautiful woman.
tell them the story of that. How did you come by that and what's written on the inside? Because here's the thing, we were at that panel and Jake said, I think I'm in love.
I couldn't help it, man. She's
So,
she's
Jake,
beautiful. She's beautiful. She writes Ultraman. She watches Ultraman. So that's kind of
Mhm.
that's kind of
She's-
woman I need.
Wow,
tell
I
them the
hope
story about how you got that book.
I hope Mrs. Metal Dawn isn't listening to this.
Oh, she's passed out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there is the VOD, but so do
So
I
I
need to
actually
so do
got
I
him.
need to have you on the episode when I interview her, or do I need to keep you at least 50 feet away?
You can keep me in the background.
Yeah, we'll all be there. But no, so I got him that book. I was because they said it was $10, so I went and got $20 out in cash because they only were taking cash at those, but it was 15. So
It
I
was
got it
actually
signed.
50.
Nate or Jake, read what she wrote signed for you.
Let's see. She wrote to Jake.
No, she
What
wrote.
would that's why I just said. She wrote to Jake. What would your wife say? I love it.
So, but while we were there,
this woman is my hero.
yeah. But while we were there, I just thought I would ask, and I got some really interesting information from her partner, who is the publisher of these books. And he said
Yeah.
that in the contract that there is language for YA novels to be published. So they're not just going to be doing young readers books. They do have planned for young adult Ultraman books in the future.
And I bet they already have a writer picked out for that, as otherwise I'd be volunteering as tribute.
Well,
That'd
start
be
putting your name in the
fun.
hat, sir, because they didn't say that. They said there's language in the contract for it. Right now, their focus is on these young readers. So I got you that card, sir. Contact
okay.
these people.
Okay.
You have
Okay.
5
Give her my
days.
number.
Yeah, 5 days. What?
Yes.
Why 5?
Yes.
Why 5 days?
Because you're going to forget to email them if you don't.
Oh,
so email them
okay.
soon.
Yeah, but Sky Turtle Nova. That is the name of the publisher. I kind of love the name of this publisher.
Yeah.
Sky Turtle Nova.
But some details about this book. It's actually it involves the original SSSP, and they go and select 6. Let's see what's
Mine says to Nathan, courage, kindness, and hope.
yeah.
Mm.
They go and select 6 of the most of 6 young middle school age children who are already showing promise in their select fields, and they make them part of the Ultra Academy. They're basically training them to be part of the SSSP in the future.
Yeah. Jack, their names are all on the back here. They have pictures of them. Jack, Aurora, AI, which is kind of funny, Jane, Willa, and Eno.
So,
and I just want to say, I'm going to get into it more when I actually interview her, but just flipping through this book, it's not just prose. You know, you go to most pages and it's prose, but there's some kind of comic book style illustrations. Like the first page looks like a newspaper, and it's got a thing in there about a slug kaiju. There's some more newspaper stuff in here. A little something here about the characters. Says it's level 1 clearance only, so it's classified. My favorite one though is when you go all the way into the back. It says that it has early reviews, which is a thing with books. Like you send it out to people and then they write a little blurb and then they put it in the front because people will read it and be like, oh, Stephen King says this is a great book, so I should buy it. Well, they had a little fun with this, and these are actually quote unquote reviews from the monsters.
yes.
So it's like 1.5
exactly.
stars from Boltan, and it says pitiful, ridiculous representation of my species. 1.5 stars from Gomera, and it says this book is propaganda. My favorite one is from our boy Red King, and it says fake news.
That's perfect.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. They had a lot of fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
I was really impressed with the author, and I was just thoroughly impressed with everything that Tsuburaya and Ultraman put out. And
do I want to tell the other story that made you guys hate me? It's not quite as bad as Shadow Moon. I got my copy for free because I told her I would.
So it don't
bother. It don't
bother
I'm
a podcaster. It's like, oh, will you hype my book on the podcast? And I said, yeah, I want to interview you. She's like, you get a free copy. I'm like, oh, I had cash at the ready.
Here I am hustling my rear end off because he's doing panels. He can't be involved. I'm getting him contact information for all these different people. And then he's the one who gets the book for free. I get one for Jake, and I still got to get a book. So
I have like the world's. I mean, look at this face. How can you hate this face?
Easy.
Very easily.
Yeah. You're like because this. I hate your face.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you got a free autographed book. All right. So
did I.
you, sir.
So he claims. Yeah. Oh my god.
Just so you know, executive decision. When I land us an interview with Johnny Young Bosch, you don't get to be there.
Oh, what? You bastard. Oh, if I get Jason Font, you aren't going to be there. I'm already working some magic on that one.
Yeah. We did learn something interesting during the Ultraman Arc movie. We found out who the executive producer for the English dub is. And it is none other than the Prince of all Saiyans himself, Christopher Sabat, or Shabat, however you say his last name.
Sabat.
Yeah.
But so that I thought that was very interesting. Yeah.
So after all of that was done on Friday, I'm trying to remember. Did we have dinner together that night? No, Jake and I did. It was Jake, me, and Brendan of Autistic Lizard Productions. We had dinner at the Red Bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
we had dinner at the Red Bar, and then we rushed over to the opening ceremony, which I thought was going to be a lot longer and more involved, and it was done in 30 minutes.
I don't even remember it.
Well, it was basically, they said, "Hey, everybody, welcome to G-Fest. Here's all the guests." The guests got to talk for a little bit, and then they played a welcome video. They did not play that Oscar-style video that they would do, where they would showcase either well-known members of well-known con-goers at G-Fest, and especially actors and crew members who had died in that last year related to Tokusatsu. They did not do that, and I don't know why. So that got done kind of early, but it was a little nice because it gave us a bit of a breather before going to the before going to the, what was it that night? It was Megaguirus, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus that night.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I actually appreciated having a little bit more downtime than normal that evening. I'm trying to remember what all we did that night. I don't remember.
I don't know. I had too long of a drive. I don't really remember a lot of stuff. So,
yeah. And then we've already talked about a lot of stuff that happened on Saturday, but we'll get right into Saturday. Saturday was my busy day. Like I said, 5 hours of paneling. I was running a mile. I was running a mile a minute that day.
Before G-Fest came to an end, I saw him one time. That's when he's running across the Hyatt in his Indiana Marchand hat, going from one place to the other.
Yeah, that was my thing. I'm well known for wearing hats at conventions. This year at G-Fest, I only brought two. It was my beret, which I wore on Friday, and then I wore my, it's depending who you talk to, I think it's actually branded Doctor Who for the Fourth Doctor, but it's the exact same hat that Indiana Jones has, and I've seen the exact same product picture used for an Indiana Jones hat. So yeah, it was Indiana Marchand, so I was wearing that
so
that day.
Indiana Marchand that day.
Yeah. So I was pretty zeroed in on that because that all started at 10. Yeah, it was about 10 o'clock. I think that was when I was trying to remember if that was when I was trying to get autographs. Because I ended up getting, I wasn't doing a whole lot of anything that day. Because I had the seminar. It was
Saturday that we kind of.
What?
Go ahead, Nate. Sorry.
No, I was just to say I had the seminar in the morning, and then I had just enough time to get lunch. The Ultraman Made panel at 1, and then I think I went right back into the second. No, I had another hour in between. Then I went back to the seminar, and I think I just had lunch with John. It was leftover Giordano's because I could not finish all of it. So I saved it and had some of that. That day was wacky because I got a bonus celebrity meetup because I got to meet, I had met him before, but I met Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic. But for the first time, I got to meet James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd of Cinemassacre fame. Because they were doing an event at Galloping Ghost, which is this big arcade. It's like an arcade museum. They normally have a pretty strong presence at G-Fest as they bring in all of the kaiju and tokusatsu related games. They had hardly anybody there this year. And it was because they were doing their own event the same weekend because they had had those two guys plus the Cinema Snob. And I was like, I bet they're going to try to slip over here. At least, at one point. Because I know James Rolfe in particular is a Godzilla fan. And sure enough, they did. They were over there to see Dojo Studios, and they were getting swarmed by people when they were walking through. So I'm sitting there having lunch with John before we do our panel, and I just run over and I get grab a picture with the two of them. So that was my big exciting moment that day. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I was doing the writers
Well,
seminars and paneling with John. What were you guys doing?
well,
I
we
know
were
we went in the
finding
dealer
out
hall.
that
Hmm?
Go ahead.
yeah, we went to the dealer hall. But the big thing from Saturday is we found out that Tsuburaya America is trying. They haven't flat out said it. They're trying really hard to fill the gap that's being left by Power Rangers
Did they
and
specifically
trying to fill in
say
the
they were
space in
doing that?
between Godzilla movies.
Did they
No, but
specifically
you can
actually
tell
say that?
because no, but you can tell that's what they're doing because the vast amount of releases we're getting in the next year is insane. Because we're getting all of Ultraman Arc in English dub, Ultraman uh, Omega. It's only 25 episodes, and it's all coming to Amazon Prime. 12 episodes in November, then the last 13 in February of 2026. All right, they've got partnerships with Amazon Prime, Fossum, Tubi, uh, uh, a whole list. I think they mentioned Pluto TV, Plex TV. They are getting in on some major streaming services, including arguably one of the big three with Amazon Prime. And then they are releasing, like I said, they're releasing Ultraman Arc with the movie English dubbed in 4K. Then we're getting in on blue. I don't know if these are blue 4K or not, but I know they're coming on Blu-ray. Uh, what's uh Ultraman The Adventure Begins
Which is already out.
and Ultraman, yeah, and Ultraman Powered.
Oh, Ultraman Great and Ultraman Powered, or Ultimate Hero and
Ultraman Great,
Towards the Future.
Ultraman
Those are
Great.
Blu-ray.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
4K
they're
the 4K releases is Ultraman 4K Discovery, which I have found out is a 4-part documentary on the origins and making of the original Ultraman. And
mhm.
then they're
And they'll
putting
be
the
have and
original
they'll be having
you were saying?
well, this ties into what you're about to say. They're putting the original Ultraman and Ultraman 7 to 4K Blu-ray
Yeah, Ultra 7. Yeah,
with
that'll be on
English
4K
dubs.
with the English dub. And I know at the very least they have that that Ultraman's getting the original 60s dub. Apparently they have found it and restored it. I don't know which dub they're going to use for 7 because I've been told that there are 2. I'm only aware of 1, but I've been told there are 2. So I don't know if they're going to do that or redub it.
And you're going to get a sneak peek at the Ultraman dub because the Ultraman Discovery is going to be dubbed, and they're going to be using footage from the 4K
Mhm.
Ultraman in it.
Yeah,
That's why it's called Ultraman 4K Discovery or
right.
Ultraman Discovery 4K.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's and I was very happy to hear about this like we were talking about last week because I thought we were possibly going to be done, but we've still got some more stuff coming out. There's still, even after all this stuff next year, there's still some gaps that could be filled, but it's really going to depend on what Tsuburaya releases in Japan because they'll release stuff in Japan first and then release it in America. What I would like to see, besides gaps like like Heisei Ultra 7, which I've been told has only been released on DVD in Japan, so they might be waiting for until they get a Japanese Blu-ray release for that. Real quick, good night, Edwin. Thank you for joining us. You can watch or listen to the VOD for this, or listen to the audio on the podcast feed. Or another thing I would like to see. I would like to have a Blu-ray high def release for both the Ultraman and for Ultraman 80, and please give the Ultraman better subtitles, because the subtitles it has now are kind of terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you guys were going to panels like that and getting all this information. What else was going on? So I know those were the big panels that you guys went to. It was like Ultraman Update was what it was called.
It was, yeah. We were pretty much focused on trying to find out everything Ultraman that day because we knew you weren't going to be able to go to any of them.
Yeah, you went to the ARC movie as
We
well.
went to go see several. We went to the ARC movie, which it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. You get a new Ultra in it.
Gal arc.
So that was yeah. It's really it was a lot of fun. I don't know. There's an actor that actually looks very familiar in it, but I can't place it. He plays a pretty big part. But I look forward to you being able to see it, Nate. I definitely want to review it with you when those come out.
October, I
We're going
think.
I think.
Yeah,
October, November, somewhere around there.
that Ultraman Arc may end up being a pick for one of us next year because it
we
was
may
a lot
end
of
up
fun.
if that's the case, we may end up with a ton of Ultraman next. Like season 3 might be nothing but like it'll be our guest pick, which I know if we stick to our plan will not be Ultraman, and then it might be like all
Yeah.
Ultraman after that.
I don't know.
Fun.
I don't know. But it would be fun. But there's a lot of they're doing a lot. Metal Heroes doing a lot right now too. So
Yeah, with this through
we've got a
Discotech.
lot.
I am anticipating that
Yeah.
if they keep selling, Discotech's going to put out all of Metal Heroes.
They better.
Yeah.
Which hopefully will
the only one
inspire somebody to give us a new physical release for both Beetleborgs and VR Troopers. Because I kind of want those on DVD
that would be
again.
fantastic.
It would
Hey,
be.
not Saban. Hey, Hasbro. How to reprint them, please.
And there's another all-American tokusatsu show I wouldn't mind seeing on completely released for the first time.
Or at the very least put on streaming. Legitimate streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Anyway.
saying YouTube's not legitimate? Well,
then
I want to know.
I want an official upload, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you guys were doing all the Ultraman stuff.
Yep.
And then Jake,
we went to Ultraman premiere several times.
Yeah. You were running away to go hang out with Saiyan Girl quite a bit.
When I was taking her home.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time about that because dinner that night was at the Caddy Shack over at the Crown Plaza, as is also G-Fest tradition.
Yeah.
And Jake tagged along for that. We had good Lord, we had about as many people there as we did at Giordano's on Thursday night. So many that they were going to put us all on the same bill. We're like, no, please don't.
I was trying to make it back in time for that one, but couldn't quite make it. So I had Giordano's for the first time that night, and
you were disappointed.
Meh. Yeah, the crust is horrible.
To each their own.
Yeah.
Oh well. Well, and then after that was another one of the seminal events of G-Fest, but it has gotten so stupid popular now. First off, we were a little bit late, but it's the costume parade. We were there. We got there late because dinner took longer than we expected. Probably should have gone there the night before. We would have had a little more time, but we could. it was so crowded. There were people outside, and that crowd was so thick you couldn't see anything unless you were 8 feet tall.
Yeah, I just
So
went straight
Yeah.
up to the hotel or to the room.
yeah. So I tried to catch some of it, but I couldn't really do it, and I was a little disappointed because I like the costume parade. The costume parade's pretty cool. So
Mhm.
probably just gonna have to look it up on YouTube. I was already trying to see if anybody had uploaded it, and some people have. So that would probably have to be what I would have to do. But we hung out for a little bit, went to the Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019 screening at the Pickwick. Handful of us went to that. What?
I've seen that movie enough. I'm good.
Yeah, I know,
I've seen
but
that movie
it
enough.
was
I'm
it
good.
was not as rowdy as I thought it would be, but I'll save that for the mega stream that I do tomorrow. So then we get to Sunday, and I finally got to breathe a little bit because I only have one panel, and I decided, screw it. There's some other panels I'd like to go do. Some of them I forgot were going on, like Jeopardy, which is Godzilla themed Jeopardy, which used to be a Saturday night event that they would do, but now it's just a regular panel, and that disappoints me. I forgot it was going on. It's like, screw it. I'm going to go do all the things I didn't quite do the other days. So I was running around either going to Ultraman premiere, or I was getting autographs, or I was making purchases in the dealer hall. That's where I spent most of my day because I had one panel that day, and that was the Terror Mecha Godzilla 50th. So we actually got to
Sunday was
hang out.
pretty
We actually got
much
to hang out
everything.
more on Sunday.
Yeah, fortunately.
Yeah. I think a lot of the stuff on Sunday was pretty much just repeats at Ultraman premiere, so we had seen it, but we got to go see it with you, which made it, a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Finally getting all three of us there to finally see something Henshin hero related.
Yeah. Well, since Thursday,
But
since
Sunday was
Friday.
definitely,
But
yeah. Um, uh, j-
he's fading fast.
Sunday was definitely they were wrapping stuff up. There wasn't a long line. There wasn't long lines at the
Dealer hall.
dealer hall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
I
you
didn't have
just
to I didn't have to fight the crowd too much to get autographs either. And actually, this was on Saturday. I was able to squeeze this in on Saturday because he was not there the entire time. And apparently he comes to G-Fest quite a bit and apparently doesn't get as much attention as people think he deserves. But there was a gentleman there. Can't remember his first name. His last name is Taguchi. He is a director, tokusatsu director. Most notably, he has directed a lot of Ultraman, including For a Boy Blazar. So
nice.
I took my Blazar Blu-ray set with me to have him sign it.
As
Because
one does.
he was only going to be there a couple of times for a few hours. So I had him sign the back of it looks like it's not a reversible cover, but it's like this cool black and white interior art on the Blu-ray set that you can see through the case. And he signed it. He put my name down. He knows a little bit of English, so it was actually fairly easy to talk to. I did leave him my business card and I said, "Hey, I'm a podcaster. I'd love to interview you." So hopefully that seed will come to fruition. But he blindsided me a little bit, and I was like, just my brain was buzzing and running 1,000 miles an hour while also being a little bit tired. And he asked me, "Who is your favorite kaiju?" Because after he signed it. And I was like, I don't want to say Godzilla because that's too obvious. I was running through other things in there. I wish I had said Jet Jaguar, but I did not go to Jet Jaguar somehow. And I said Anguirus. So I don't know how well it'll show up here on camera, but this is a black and white picture, obviously, on the back. So there's his signature with the date. And then over here on Earth Garon is his funny little illustration of Anguirus.
It's beautiful.
Nice.
It is beautiful. And he was a great guy to talk to. And in the picture I got with him, again, I wish I had brought the pictures with me. May have to save those for tomorrow night's stream. But when because I had him sign Blazar, I was actually trying to do a nice serious pose. But he, on the other hand, was putting on a show, and he did the little like bowing thing that Blazar would do in the show. And I'm like, I like you. And like, I know he's done some kaiju short films and all that. He was selling one there. It was a little pricey. It was like $50, and I think it's a Japanese Blu-ray, so it'll play, but I don't think it has subtitles or anything. He was just selling them. And kind of wish I had picked it up. I think Danny and Elijah, he was there last year. He wasn't an announced guest, but he was there last year. And I think they said they bought his movie last year. So might do that for him next year. He showed a movie during the film festival, and apparently G-Fest did him a little bit dirty from what I heard, because they didn't give him an interpreter because he went down to introduce the movie during the film festival, and there was no one there to help him with translation, which is a bit unfortunate. So hopefully they remedy that next year. I'm glad this time they actually made him an announced guest, but yeah. So I got to meet the guy who directed, our boy Blazar. And let's see, what are some, I don't have the other autographs that I have here because they're kaiju related, not Henshin related. But yeah, so that's what I was doing most of that day, filling in all of those gaps. And then I did my last panel, which was, it was not the last panel of the day because that went to Kaiju Confessions, which is this annual like weird sing-along thing that Stan Hyde does every year at G-Fest. I think this might have been the last year for it. It's the same thing every year, so once you see it once, there's no real reason to see it again. So I did my Terror of Mechagodzilla panel with Danny and Elijah. And then you guys are like, we're going to go see Superman together at the Pickwick. Ugh. Yeah. Because I bought the crazy package where I got all the G-Fest movies, a t-shirt, and one movie of my choice that weekend for $100. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm using my extra movie to go see Superman, and you guys are demanding. It's like, we're going to do an episode about it. I'm like, calm down, fellas. We'll probably do it on Patreon for MIFE Max because it technically fits within the purview of the podcast because there's a kaiju in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're like, we're just gonna go. It's like, you're like, when is the plan?
It's gonna be a crossover, sir, because Guy Gardner's the Henshin hero.
Okay, we'll talk. But anyway, we're not gonna review it for this stream because but anyway,
no.
Yeah, but anyway, so you're like, well, when's it gonna play? I said it's like at 1, 5, and 7. They're like, well, we're gonna have to go at 5. Okay, so we're gonna leave early. We didn't go to Kaiju Confessions. I said, who wants to go with us? My friend Kaiju Kim said she would go along. So we all drive over there. I managed to find a parking spot without too much trouble. Here was the weird thing that happened. Nobody believes me. I saw Spider-Man. I swear to you guys, I saw Spider-Man at the end of this little alley we were walking down. There were people behind us who were like, was that Spider-Man? So I'm not the only one who saw this.
Him too.
But then we get to the end of the alleyway and I'm like, where did he go? I couldn't figure. I was like, if he went this way, where he really is Spider-Man? Because he had to have climbed the wall. How could he have? How? I was so confused because I'm pretty sure that was a dead end. So that was weird. And I don't know why there'd be a guy dressed like Spider-Man there. It was so random. But anyway. So we get there. You and Saiyan Girl were coming, but you were driving separately and you were a little bit late. I was worried that you were going to get there. You were going to miss the beginning of the movie. But they ended up not really meaning a whole lot because Kim, like I said, I'll probably talk more about this tomorrow night. Kim was feeling sick suddenly.
Yeah, so he had to be a real Superman.
Yeah, and had to leave. And she's like, oh, I don't want you to miss the movie. He's like, Kim, I saw it on Tuesday. because I went to the early screening. Let's take care of you. So she was trying to get a lift, and then that ended up being a whole fiasco and to do that I'll talk about tomorrow night. And long story short, after fighting with Lyft and not getting it to work and just getting frustrated, I just said, all right, Kim, I'm just going to take you back myself. So
Yeah.
put her in the car and drove her back to her hotel, came back. I had missed half the movie, but I had already seen it Tuesday night because I have Amazon Prime and I went to the Amazon Prime early screening. So I was
That's
okay.
why you're the ultra bro, sir.
That's why I'm the ultra bro, apparently. Yeah. So even though the goal was for all of us to watch this movie together, I only got half of it. But I swore somebody kicked my popcorn because I saw spilled popcorn there, and I had bought popcorn.
That
And
was Chris.
No,
That
I
was
nearly
Chris's popcorn.
Yeah,
That
I
was
had
my- I
left my
nearly dropped it
popcorn
'cause I'm a
under the
klutz.
seat. I was like, somebody kicked my popcorn, so I ended up
Your
eating Saiyan
popcorn
Girl's
was
popcorn.
untouched and unsullied,
And it
sir.
was untouched, but I wasn't sure because it was dark
Yeah.
in that theater. It was not the mega theater. It was the theaters in the back, which I had never been to before. Yeah. So
Yes,
we had a
we
good
were
time.
in-
We had a good time watching the movie. And that's when the two of you had to leave.
Well, we came back to the
Yeah.
hotel.
Yeah, we went back to the
And-
hotel for a little
No,
bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
we come back to the hotel. Yeah. I took Saiyan Girl back home, and then I came back and hung out with you guys for a little bit. Then
Yeah,
we
for a
had to
little
leave
bit.
because
Yeah.
we live in the South.
Yeah, so you had long drives ahead of you, and I was gonna do, as Danny Demana christened it, the wholesome hangout, which is my little alternative to the official after party that feels more like a cult initiation because I tried going once and I'm like, I don't like it here.
Yeah.
It's
So
over here is Sodom and over here is Gamora. And yeah, and that the shenanigans that happened from that will be talked about tomorrow night because boy howdy. The one thing I will mention is I created a new meme based on our shenanigans that night. We call him Judgmental Ultraman.
I'm sure it is. Next year, my plan is I'm going to get up there on Wednesday before, so that I'm not missing anything or having to worry about trying to get checked in or anything else. I'll already be ready in and ready to go when things start up on Thursday. Because G-Fest with the double features, if you want to watch those, G-Fest actually starts on Thursday.
Unofficially.
The celebrations do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unofficially.
I'm starting to wonder
then,
if it would behoove me to come on Wednesday and then maybe take like a day to do some sightseeing and then leave on Monday.
Yeah.
Or stay for a week.
Yeah, that's my plan is to be like Wednesday through Monday next year, and I'm already planning on it budget wise and everything else. It's a lot of fun. I recommend it to anybody that's remotely interested in Godzilla, Ultraman. I don't know what else they're going to bring in there. Especially if they continue to grow it.
I've been seeing a little bit more presence from things like Super Sentai and Power Rangers and Kamen Rider. There was some Kamen Rider cosplay this year. So I'm seeing it get in there. And if you go into the dealer hall, you can find things for all of those. And one of the fun things about staying in the actual G-Fest hotel is they have internal channels that are just normally would be like the information channels for the hotel, but they just make it play 24/7 random tokusatsu, a lot of which is not normally available. And there was one time, Jake, you remember we turned it on just to watch for a little bit before going to bed, and it finished one thing. I think it was like Moonlight Mask or something.
Yeah.
Which was this black and white late 50s TV show produced by Toei that was very much a forerunner to Kamen Rider because it's a guy, he rode a motorcycle, and he's arguably the first Henshin hero, but you never actually see him transform. His secret identity would just slip away, off scene, and then he would come back in costume. So we don't know if he technically transformed or not, but he still paved the way for him.
If they're going to stay on, I would like them to stay on theme and keep it like somehow tied to kaiju because Ultraman counts because he fights Ultra Kaiju.
Well, yeah, but what I was trying
Sentai
to
would count.
yeah, well, what I was trying to say
Yeah.
is that right after that was a fan subbed crossover special or movie. I'm not sure which one it was between. Oh, which one is it? Which one's the pirate Sentai that became Super Mega Force? Is that
Go
Gokaiger? Let's go
Ultra
Kaiger.
Go
It was a
Kaiju.
crossover between
Yeah.
Gokaiger because it was Captain Marvelous and Kamen Rider, whatever that was. So they're expanding and showing different things. And like I said, the Toei stuff has a presence. It's just not nearly as strong because G-Fest has, like I said, because of the AG Tsuburaya connections, Ultraman has had a presence there, and it's just even more. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Ultraman was second only to Godzilla in terms of sheer presence at G-Fest this year.
For sure.
Yeah, and it wasn't a wide margin because, like I said, they did still have a lot of Godzilla panels and everything like that. Right now, though, there is kind of a lull between because we're waiting on the next Japanese Godzilla movie. We're waiting on the next American or the
Yeah,
next American made
it's
Godzilla movie.
Godzilla Cross Kong Supernova is slated for March 2027 for sure.
Yeah. And then we
It's
got
supposedly a
-1,
and supposedly a -1 sequel next year. Supposedly.
and
And
there's
there's
a
talks
rumor that they
about
might actually try to.
There's talks about a Shin Godzilla sequel.
I don't put a lot of stock in that,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, I'd like to see one.
I
But
don't want a sequel.
I
I think a
do.
sequel would ruin the movie.
as the con grows, I would like to see maybe them bring in some old. I would like them to keep it definitely kaiju based, so definitely Sentai would fall into that. I don't know if Kamen Rider would, but then
Yeah,
you
there was
got some
Kamen Rider
kaiju related
cosplay.
anime that are out there. Yeah, there was Kamen Rider cosplay, but I mean, apparently there's Spider-Man as well. So,
I saw one
um,
Deadpool, but
yes, you had to get your picture taken with him. So, who knows? There's a lot that I definitely wanted to stay kaiju centric for sure, but um as the con grows, and there is a huge gap right now, with Ranger Pop and Stop has ceased,
mhm.
and Power Morphicon is every what 4 years, 2 years,
2
something like
years.
that.
I think it's every 2
Yeah,
years, but
you don't get
they
it.
well, wait. Is it every 2 years or did they alternate between Sentai and Power Rangers every year?
I don't think they because
Um,
they didn't do one this year. The next one is in 2026, so I think
Okay,
it's
so I guess it's every 2 years.
um, and I think they might actually be alternating between Sentai and Power Rangers, so you get like one every 4 years.
Mhm.
Um, and I've heard mixed reviews about Power Morphicon. You don't really have a regular Sentai Power Rangers uh con anymore. There's a and Kaiju's getting um pretty popular again, and there's several Henshin based heroes that fall into that category. There's several anime that fall into that category. And I think people are gonna have to open their minds a little bit. It's like, hey, we're here to celebrate Godzilla and his legacy, which are kaiju. So, it'll always be G Fest because he's kind of acknowledged as the while Kong is the grandfather of kaiju, he's the father of kaiju.
Mhm.
So all this is because of Godzilla. So let's welcome it in. Let's celebrate it. Let it grow. Get more people coming. Get more eyes on Big G himself and all his fellow kaiju friends,
Mhm.
and see what comes of it.
Yeah. So,
But it's a fantastic con. I recommend it.
yeah.
Even if you're not the biggest Godzilla fan, it is a great con to really get your feet wet and see what conventions are about. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's in that just right
Until you try
zone
to go to the
right
dealer
now.
hall.
Until you go to the dealer hall and just wait about
Sardines.
a couple hours. Yeah, just wait a little
Sardines.
while, and then you'll be able to go through there without feeling like you're being crushed, and you won't really miss anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It was my favorite G-Fest. This was I counted it. So 2017, 2018,
because I
2019.
was there, sir, you
Yeah,
finally got
yes.
to see
Yeah,
me. All
yes,
right.
that was part of it. I got to bask in the Sentai guy's aura. Yeah, so yeah, 17, 18,
Yes.
19, and then they skipped 20 and 21, so 22, 23, 24, 25. So this is my 7th G-Fest, and it's by far my favorite. It was also my busiest, but it's by far my favorite. So much happened, and
Until next year when you submit 50 panels and they
I
accept
will not
48
be
of them.
submitting 50 panels, sir. I am just writing down ideas. I will not submit them all. And not all of them will be accepted. I guarantee you.
Yeah, all but two. All but two of them. It's like, wait, I'm supposed to get 2 panels at one time. How am I going to do this? Clone yourself, all right? Learn the Shadow Clone
I
Jutsu.
am
That's all I can
multiple man.
say.
I am not multiple man. Yeah, or I'll make
Yeah,
or I'll make an Ultraman clone of myself, and he can go do one.
yeah.
It's
There
Nate
you
and
go.
Ultra. It's Super Nate and Ultra Nate. It's only a little confusing. Anyway, so let's do
And then there's
let's do the
Common Nate,
whole.
Sentai
Yeah,
Nate.
yeah. Let's do the hall stuff right now. I'm not going to go into too much of mine. So I'm going to save that for Patreon. So I have the ones that would be pertinent to HPV3. I have several vendors at G-Fest who are among my favorites, and I always try to buy some stuff from them. One of them is Seismic Toys. One of these days, I'm going to get the figures that they actually produce themselves. I've only gotten 2 of them. No, I've gotten more than that, but not at G-Fest. But I did buy a couple of Bandais from them because it is my tradition when I finish an Ultra series to buy a figure of the Ultra from that show, but I've fallen behind. So I now have a Decker and a Blazar. So filled in that gap. And let's see, the rest of this I have shown off. I'm going to save that one for last. But we also did some stuff because the Metal Dawn was insane and went over to a store and saw all these little blind bag things that were for the Netflix Ultraman. And he just bought the entire box so we could all take turns opening them up. And then we had fights over negotiating trades and things like that because he was like, "Here you go, Nate." He gave me one. I opened it and it was Ultra 7. He's like, "Right, you go." And that was the only Ultra 7 we had in the entire box. And I said, "Okay, you got Ultraman. Here, I'll trade you Ultra 7." So I was nice. So these were my 3 that I kept. So I have Shin Hayata, Old Man Shin Hayata. I have Ultraman, who in the Netflix show is his son, and I got the alter ego for Ace. So there you go. If you listen to our episode for the season finale, we do a very late birthday gift exchange. And honestly, I think we might want to make that an annual tradition, even though I know like Chris, your birthday's in January. Jake's yours is in May, mine's in June, but we might just wait till G-Fest and just like do it all then.
Heck
But you
yeah.
surprised me with another
Dude,
one. I was not expecting this, Chris. What?
I was like, oh yeah, just make it a birthday bash. You may stream it.
Yeah, and then stream it. But you surprised me with another item that was not in the episode that we recorded. It's an old school. I was trying to figure out when this one was published. I have the issue number. It says number 145 in August, but it doesn't give a year. But this is a Fangoria magazine with Godzilla on the cover. I'm guessing it's probably like 1997. given what I'm seeing on here, because it says, exclusive Godzilla, the latest Rampage. So I'm guessing it's probably doing some stuff related to might even be 1996 or 95. I don't know.
It's
Maybe it's
95.
1995. Yeah, because it's got species on here,
Yep.
so it's probably 95. So this is probably talking about Destroya in this, because that is the Heisei Godzilla. But I have another Fangoria magazine that was published right when Godzilla 98 came out. And it was like this massive, like Godzilla takes over almost the entire issue. And they were doing a bunch of stuff in there. Learned a lot of stuff in that magazine that I didn't know about Godzilla before. It was one of the that was in the middle of the time when my Godzilla fandom was really starting to expand. But this is technically not within the purview of this podcast, but it has connections to someone whose work is in the purview of this podcast, and is, for me, it's not the most expensive thing I bought that weekend, but it's the most impressive thing I bought that weekend. Because this thing is long out of print, and I almost never see it on Amazon or eBay. And whenever I do, it's like $150. I found a guy who he was mostly like most of his booth was physical media. He's the primary physical media guy there. He had this still shrink wrapped, and he was still selling it at retail. I couldn't believe it. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna have to get it. This was low on my priority list to buy, but I got it because it was there and it was still retail. Message from Space: Galactic Wars. This was a TV sequel to a movie made by Toei in the late 70s. They were trying. This was, Toho made the War in Space to cash in on Star Wars. This was Toei's cash in or Star Wars, but this is the TV show spinoff. This is made by Discotech. It's a Blu-ray. I managed to get this is well out of print, like I said. And the reason why I say it's kind of related to the purview of the podcast is because this was created by Shotaro Ishinomori. The show, anyway. I don't think the movie was, but the show was made by Shotaro Ishinomori, creator of Kamen Rider. So I had to snag it. I haven't watched any of it yet, but I'm glad I grabbed this one. All right. That's all I'm showing off today. What did you guys get? Who wants to go first? We've seen some of it that's been sneaking up onto the, into the stream.
I'll go first.
All right. Okay, yeah.
I'll go first.
You go.
First thing I bought was this Bandai Belial.
He's a big boy.
It does talk.
I love it. And his chest lights up.
It does. Let's see. I got Absolute Tartarus, SH Figure Arts.
He's getting all the bad guys. I see how he works.
Oh yeah, of course. And I had to get the Figure Arts Belial.
Oh, that is a nice one.
It is. I showed the book already. I did get a coin for the Ultra 7 novelization.
And by coin, he means it's like the size of a saucer.
Yeah.
Or coffee. It's huge.
And I got the 3-0 Ultraman Taro
from the Netflix show.
Yeah. Very nice figure. I'm still debating if I want to open it up or not.
I understand.
Then from Seismic Toys, I got Juras. So me and Saiyan Girl are twinsies now because she got one too.
Yeah, I got I have a Juras. I have a Juras figure. It's the original color grade that they did. It's blue.
Yeah.
That one's more of a green.
And for the birthday, Nate did get me the gold version of Fiz.
I had to. You can thank Jay for that. He had that came from his shop, Toku Toy
I
Town.
told him that you got it for me.
Yeah.
And then Chris got me the book with my future ex-wife.
Oh, so he's going to divorce his current wife, marry her, and then divorce her
He
too.
also got me the Super 7 X-Ray Dragon Zord.
That is so good.
It is badass.
So good.
What else? I got.
We had to look him
what's
up.
his name? Gilvalis, something like that. I think he's from the Geed movie.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much. Oh, I did get one of the Ultraman card game boxes. Already opened it up.
They were giving free promo cards for that thing out like candy.
They was. That's pretty much. I did get some kaiju figures from Godzilla, but I'll show those later. That's about all I got there for Gilvalis. Yeah. But when I got home, I had Outerman from SRS Cinema waiting on me.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can't wait for you guys to watch that. I love that movie.
And then 2 days ago, I got the Omega Slugger.
That is cool. Yeah, this is Gilvalis. There it is. Took a second.
Yeah,
that's Gilvalis from the movie.
Yeah, so I started to watch the movie the other night, but fell asleep. So I'll get to it eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody but Nate's still recovering from G-Fest.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a lot because, like I said, it's my first con. I just wanted to get a feel for things, but I did have to get some stuff for my kids. So I got my son and Ultra 7.
That looks like the Mego.
This is it's the Mego. Yeah, he loves the Migos.
I have the.
I also got him.
I have the Mego as well. Yeah. What is that?
I forget we got one. It's a Pokemon of some kind. So, but it's one that he likes. I can't remember its name because
it's
I'm
like
sure Saiyan Girl will let me know.
How many gens are they up to at this point?
I don't know.
9th, I think. Jeez. Then I got this guy.
That was a gift. Yeah, that was the gift. Yeah.
Yeah. And it comes to the VHS, so I'm gonna have to track down a VCR because
I saw that and I'm like, okay, it's a Bade Red or Dino Thunder Red. This is a Japanese toy, but it came with a VHS. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get this for him because one, he's the Sentai guy too. He's gonna be amused that it comes with. I don't know if Japanese VHS will play on American VCRs, but
then Saiyan Girl got me some stuff for my birthday, including this Ultraman.
That is Shin Ultraman. I know because he's really spindly and doesn't have a color timer.
Got a Harry Potter snow globe. Also got, I kind of showed this earlier with the Japanese subtitles for Ultraman: The Adventure Begins.
What Japanese subtitles?
Well, yeah. And then also from Saiyan Girl.
That's cool.
That's nice.
It's shiny.
Yeah, some Power Ranger.
For those who are listening, it's kind of a chrome comic book Power Rangers illustration.
Yeah. It's kind of like some glass art.
Yeah.
It's very nice. And then they also got me minus 2023 -1 Godzilla.
Mm-hmm. Is that the Super 7?
Now I have somebody. That's the one you guys got me.
It's the Bandai one.
A Bandai, okay.
On a Bandai, yeah. And so now I got somebody who can kick Red King's rear end.
Like he needs another one.
Yeah. Oh, he needs his ass kicked continuously. Look, we determined that pretty early on in our ultras. Like, okay, this guy's just a jerk, and he deserves any stomping that he gets.
I did the zero fight with Belial. I was like, this is a pro wrestling match. Like that one, really. I showed you guys the videos. Like it is a pro wrestling match. You got Zero's playing to the crowd, and he like turns into Hulk Hogan. He gets like hulked up later from the crowd. And
the live stage shows, they were not long, but they were fantastic. They were a lot of fun. They were well choreographed. They
go for it.
Each ultra had a different fight style. I really and you guys would be amazed at what they pulled off in such a small space. It was honestly, they didn't have room for chairs. When they did like shows and stuff for like when Fuji was doing her talk show, you had to sit on the floor, which for an obese man like me was not fun.
Yeah.
So
you know what? I think I'm actually gonna. It would be it's good. It would be terrible for the audio, but I don't know. Maybe next week for next week's stream, I will play the video of the Zero and Belial fight. I'll have it actually at the ready.
Absolutely.
So either that or I'll probably upload it as an independent video anyway. But like the thing that got to me, I've watched the Jurassic Ultraman. I've watched a video, of that, since the convention. But and there was the same thing that happened there with that. What astonishes me is that these two actors not only have fight choreography that they need to remember, but they also had to coordinate the fight choreography with pre-recorded sound effects and music, and they had a screen in the background that would normally just have background stuff in there for, to establish a setting or to say like, here it's Ultraman, the hero premiere. But they would also put special effects on there that if you were looking at it straight on, they were actually like choreographing moves and poses to go with the effects.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's a lot of work that goes into this, because you got to remember the fight choreography, the sound, and you got to remember those background visuals. It's crazy what they have to do. And I've seen some video of the Japanese stage show, and it's like, it's what we saw, but even bigger. It's an entire stage with a massive screen behind it where they have to do that. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, especially considering the limited amount of space they had to work with and how quick, like I said, it was a last, or Nate informed us this, it was a last minute addition. They actually gave up part of Dojo Studios assigned space for it. How quickly it was put together and the limited amount of space they had to work in, it was beyond phenomenal what they pulled off. Oh, also, and they were shilling for their card game in there, which actually does look like a lot of fun. That's something that Jake wants us to do. He wants you and I to get the starter set so we can stream the game.
They'll be at not G-Fest. They were at G-Fest. They'll be at Gen Con, so I got like a free starter deck or something, I think, from them. So I'll probably, if he's that serious, I'll walk over there and I'll go buy a deck.
Well, good. I'll send you some money and you can get me some too.
Okay. I'll tell you what I can find over there. I don't know if it'll be any different than what they had at G-Fest.
I should have got the decks, but I just got that $1.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one last thing I wanted to mention that they did bring up. If you go to ultramanstore.com, you can get the Ultraman specific G-Fest shirt they released this year, and it's Juras, and it has almost like, I don't know if they still are or not, but you can go and see if they're still selling it. It's Juras. Yeah, it's Juras, but it has kind of like a partial -1 logo on it, and then on the back has all the Ultraman stuff they had going on there. So
I
it's
did.
a really cool shirt.
Yeah, I'm waiting for mine to come in the mail. I did buy it.
Me too.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I could spend a lot more than just 2 hours talking about this year's G-Fest. I don't know how next year can compete with this. It was such a good G-Fest.
I'm really excited to see it since it's going to be the official 60th anniversary of Ultraman.
This is why we got to start cranking our episodes out, guys. We really got to
if I'm not mistaken, Jake, remind me, isn't Ultraman 4K and Ultra 7 4K releasing on Ultra Day next year?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least one of them is.
Ultraman. No, both of them are. Then Powered. And then
March and
Powered
May.
and the other one are releasing in March and May of next year. Arc comes out in September of this year.
October, yeah.
Yeah, late September, early October. Discovery comes out in September for sure.
Okay.
Oh,
I just know as soon as the pre-orders go up.
Yeah, for real.
Okay. New Ultraman Blu-rays pre-order.
Take my money.
It's just a reflex with me anymore.
So
just pre-order.
Yep.
I'm a sucker.
So kaiju fans, if you're waiting for more Godzilla, you're going to have plenty of Ultra kaiju to keep you busy up until we get more of the big G himself. And I really hope that next year we have a lot to talk about with Godzilla himself, because we love the big G here as well.
Yeah, we do. I mean,
more.
We're getting a -1 sequel and Supernova. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a official trailer dropped at G-Fest next year. That'd be kind of cool.
It would be. It'd be crazy if they did that, but it would be really cool. And there's, I think next year is also going to be when Kaiju Island of Fire comes out, and it's going to have a bunch of kaiju film alumni in it, including a lot of the guests who were there this year. Oh, I forgot. I didn't show it off. I didn't show it, but because he was there primarily talking about the Godzilla movie he was in, I got to meet a Sentai Ranger. I got to meet a Sentai Red Ranger. Now, he was also in a Godzilla movie, is Noboru Kaneko, who was in Godzilla Tokyo SOS.
Red Gal Ranger.
But he was the Red Gal Ranger, a.k.a. Wild.
And I've seen
and he was the face actor. So he is, that was Cole in Wild Force? That's right.
Yeah.
So he was Cole's Sentai counterpart.
I've seen a couple of episodes of Gal Ranger. And I will say I do enjoy it quite a bit more than I did Wild Force. So,
which might be a hot take for some people.
Yeah, I enjoyed Wild Force, and I don't hate Wild Force. I don't hate Wild Force at all. I don't get the hate that a lot of people give it, but I'm just saying from what I saw Gal Ranger, I was enjoying it more.
Yeah,
it's not a knock on Wild Force at all.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about that. I already did that on the power trip. But anyway, it's been great talking with you guys about this. I've got a lot more to talk about with G-Fest. Like I said, I'm going to be doing at least 2 more things related to G-Fest. The mega stream tomorrow, the Patreon thing, and I guess we'll be doing an extra Patreon this month. We'll talk about Superman because there's a kaiju in it. So, and I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna have to do? You realize this? I'm gonna have to go to Walmart and I'm gonna have to buy the kaiju slime battle figure set that has the kaiju with a little Superman figure, and then I'm gonna have to buy the McFarlane toys set that has Godzilla and Superman, because that is one of the most Nate Marchand things ever made right there.
Yeah.
Superman, Godzilla.
Yeah, I gotta get that.
The Kong and Batman I should get too, just to complete the set. But
same here. I gotta get Kong and Batman as well. You can find both at the local GameStop here, so you might be able to actually go and get them at GameStop for a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, it's been great, guys. I promise everybody we are working on the episodes. I know I feel like I have to say that like 3 times a day at this point, but we are working on them. They will be out. The show has not stopped. I've already had to field questions from people. Like, what happened to the show? It's like, it's coming. I swear.
Yes. It's getting on the chopper now.
You get to the editing chopper. Oh.
Yes.
And then while you're at it, Chris, you're going to get up with your fat ass and you're going to get the editing done. Oh.
Indeed. Actually, I'll be on my fat ass when I'm doing the editing, but yes.
I need me some Kamen Rider thighs.
Actually, sir, I'll be getting on my fat ass to do the editing because it's me being off my fat ass is what's causing the problem.
Don't get technical with me, especially when Saiyan Girl is saying like you had an awesome stream, that we should do more streams. Well, that's why we were doing the stuff with Ultraman Omega.
It's in the works.
It's in the works, and we're probably going to do like a monthly Toku News roundup so we can keep it out of the main podcast and not get distracted.
All right, get out of here, Arnold.
All right, Arnold. It's time to go to bed.
Hey, better Arnold than the Great Leader. See ya, everybody.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Henshin Power V3, a podcast produced and hosted by Nathan Marchand,
Christopher Reiner,
and Jake Hamber.
If you'd like to send us feedback, we'd love to hear from you. So email us at henshin.power.v3@gmail.com.
Follow us on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter. Thank you, Danny the Mana, where our handle is @HenshinPowerV3, and join our official Facebook groups, Power Rangers Legacy and the Marco Out Lounge. We also have a Discord server called the Marco Out Lounge. Check the show notes for links to all of them.
Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and other great podcatchers. The podcast logo was designed by Rebecca Hutchins. Follow her on Instagram at super_r_illustrations.
Our theme song is a Joe the Hero remix by GVG Kid, which is based on a track from the video game Beautiful Joe.
All film and audio clips belong to their respective copyright holders, and no infringement is intended or implied.
Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podchaser to spread the word about the show. And until next time,
Schwatch!